Well, good morning, my Teaserking family. How is everybody today? I am fine. Got up a little early today and just ran to the grocery store. I had to charge my phone, so I'm all set for class. Um, Comex is having fun today. Gold is down to 33.48, down $52 for absolutely zero reason, except for they're trying to short options. What a great reason to price gold. Biggest Ponzi scheme since Madoff, this Comex crap. How they allow it, it's because they're in charge of it, right? JP Morgan runs the country, so they can do what they want. I don't know how much money they make on this, and people are going to buy. So they're shorting. People will buy it and want delivery of this. And we don't have the gold to deliver. I think when you see gold coming into the country, Andy Scheckman, that's what's happening. He's a little bit goofy. He doesn't really understand it. That is not gold coming in is not for the it's not for a gold standard. If we had any gold, we would be doing a gold standard, which we don't, unfortunately. Right now, gold's 33.47. You can see China really didn't do much buying, and Europe just sold. And the U.S., now you watch, it's 10 o'clock. Look at the drop at 10 o'clock. This should start going up because it dropped just before 10, and now it should go up. Actually, it went up just about 10. Yeah, so the down is normal. The U.S. Getting a better price to short. Silver 37.78. So it's just a game. It's you can't take any of this serious. It's all bullshit. Silver's 500-600 an ounce in real world, and gold's probably 10,000. But here we see 33.47, so it's cheap. You can buy it very cheap, which is what you want to do. I mean that's you have to look at this as the sale of the century, and you can buy this. Because as I stated, again, the inflation's printing this, not the debasement, the inflation is printing this. You print it, that it has no value. So you must get out of it. And that's rule number one. You have to get out of this, so you have to go into gold and silver or a mantle card, but I think gold and silver, because they're real money, are better. And yes, yeah. Do you take your Rolex to the grocery store? Do you take your mantle cards to the grocery store? Probably not. Now, if I was a good grocer, I would take the mantle card and the Rolex. But no, you're using your credit or debit card, or you're using cash. The cash has no value, but if they want to take it, great. We'll use it. But it's so you're at the grocery store, and they got a couple bags worth was $45. Toilet paper $7.50 for Charmin. Aluminum foil. I got my gingers. So I get the ginger claw, and then I cut it and shave it, and then I dump it in my water, and that's what I use it for. Very healthy for you. The fruits, expensive. Blueberries were 3 for $5. They used to be 99 cents like this time of the summer because they're drying. They're running out, right? So it's a big, this whole COMEX is a big joke. It keeps the price down. So what you're asking is, well, who's going to get the price up, and will they always continue to do this? And the answer is no. The answer is brics is buying and watching it going and laughing, and they're going, oh, good, it's going down, 33.47. We see it's not a real price. We see a lot of option shorts at 3,400 for some reason. I don't know why 3,400 is the magic number, but we'll see it. It'll be 5,000. Just like when it was sitting at 2,000 and it wouldn't go over 2,000, then it finally went to 2, and now it's at 34. So it'll finally break 34, and then we'll get to 4,000. And and the U.S. is still, oh no, the dollar's fine. Look, the dollar's fine. I see so many videos with Trump, and he's so stupid. He did tariffs on Swiss gold, and about 2 hours later, he took them off. Oh, God, the guy's scrambled eggs, isn't he? And he's running the country. Oh, well. There's all this stuff on his wife was with Epstein, and I don't know if I don't really know her background, but she was a model, and Epstein introduced them. So I think she's in Epstein's camp. I think she's a spy or something, but we'll find out. Wouldn't surprise me none. Nothing that man does surprises me. So don't trust them. They got this summit with Putin in Alaska on Thursday. It'll be nothing. Nothing will get done. I don't know why they're meeting. It's not to end the war. It must be for something else. Probably help with the Britons. The Brits are the ones kind of controlling everything, and the Israelis. They're really the ones controlling. So we're trying to do a British empire because it's the Brits running the U.S. and the Israelis were right along with them. So next time you're asked, who did you vote for? You say, I didn't vote for Netanyahu or whatever his name is. But he's the one running it. So I think you get that with football teams and baseball teams. It's not the coach. He's got to do what the owner wants, right? I was listening about Prime Jr., and they didn't want him. The owner stepped in and said, we're drafting him in the 5th round. And so they did. But the coach didn't want him. So now the coach has to play him because the owner says, well, he's not, then the coach isn't running the team. And I think you see that in a lot of sports where the owner steps in. Does he know anything about owning a team or running a team? Absolutely not. Look at Jerry Jones. Since he fired Jimmy Johnson, they haven't done shit. That was in the mid-'90s. So that's 30-some years ago that Jones thought he was a GM. And he was smarter than Jimmy. And we know that's not the case. And, it's crazy. But this is what's going on in the country. Trump's not in charge. George Soros is, and Israeli, and everything else. Tough day for gold. It's really going down. I guess they're shorting the shit out of it, but China's going to come in and buy it and want delivery, which the U.S. has no goal to deliver. So this is ending very, very soon. I know it's when is it ending, and I don't know that we have an exact date and time, unfortunately, but we know it will end. We know that gold will go 10 times higher. We know the dollar's out. When does the dollar officially go out? When nobody wants it, which everybody's de-dollarizing. So the only people that want it are people in the U.S. because that's what we need to run. Like when we sell stuff to China, when we buy stuff from China, we give them dollars. And when we give them dollars, China can't use the dollars. So that's why they went into the treasuries, because they'd earn some interest on it. But they didn't. They need yuan in China. They don't use dollars. Just like when I go to Europe, in Italy or any of these places, you're using most of the time you're using euros. In Berlin, and there are some, the taxi driver will take 100, or he'll take US, but it won't be a fair exchange. We did that in Italy. We took a cab, and it was supposed to be like 40 or 50 euros. I gave him 100 and he gave me back like $40, which should have been 60, but I didn't have change for the 100. And that's what you gotta watch out with is, again, the dollar's not worth anything. The euro's not worth anything either. And neither is the British pound. Why the British pound's so much higher value, I have no idea. Anyway, it's a bad day for gold, paper gold. They're running the options and they don't have the gold to back it. So this is going to be interesting when they have to pay up for all these countries taking delivery. Silver 37.77. You listen to Mark McGuire and said, "Oh, COMEX has lost control." Well, it doesn't look like it. So, we keep hearing that and we keep going, okay, no more COMEX. COMEX is broken. Russia and China will take over pricing it, and they're not. It's still, this is the price. and it sucks. All right. Let's see what our stock market's got to be up because the tariffs are really good for the economy. Yep, it's up 206 to 44,175. This is pure bullshit. Pure. I don't know if it's algorithms, AI, or what the fuck's doing it. Who the hell's buying stocks? The problem with stocks, you're in paper. And the thing with gold is you're not in paper. So I got to get out of this. Well, stocks are paper, as are banks, as is bonds, as is real estate trust. And don't think real estate's a good investment. Okay. Stocks are maybe because you own part of Apple or Intel or Amazon or whatever. So you buy the stock because you're in with the company. But don't tell me buying 5 houses is an investment. That's for suckers. That's bullshit. You got too much maintenance. You got property taxes. And then you've got to get buyers. And as the prices are so high, you can't sell them at this price. So the price has to come down. So that's really what you're looking at. These prices are they're way too high, first of all, and you've got to be very careful with it. So understand that you don't buy houses like you buy stocks. Like gold's a whole different animal. Baseball cards. Bitcoin and baseball cards are kind of the same thing, except you actually own the card and have it. And in Bitcoin, you don't have anything. It's all make believe. So it's controlled by whoever. Now Trump's involved with Larry Fink and the Russian mafia. So you're in good stand. So they're not going to price up. Sure, Trump has a way of taxing it because they know who has it. Right? That was the whole point of Bitcoin was it would be private. Nobody would know you have it. And then you could do all these illegal things and paper, launder the money. That's why Bitcoin was invented. It's not, it should never have been this expensive, and it really isn't real. So just like OneCoin was just a Ponzi scheme, and the girl admitted, I don't have any. It's just all made up, and people lost billions of dollars in it. That's why she's dead. But how is Bitcoin any different? Bitcoin's not real. I mean, people who challenge me, it's just, they give me the stupidest reasons. Well, the internet you can't see. I can see it. I'm on the internet, and I can go into YouTube. I can go into my email. I can see that. I can go into Teaserking. Okay, so I know the internet's connecting me. But if I said I had a site Teaserking and you couldn't see it, is it real? No. So it's really strange what they're doing. I'm trying to come in on a little earlier. I wanted again, but I had to go to the grocery store and I had to charge my phone. But I want to start doing class about 10-ish because I want to finish by noon. I want to eat. And I figure part of the reason I'm gained a little bit of weight is I'm eating at 11 when I'm doing the class. Then after the class, about 2 o'clock-ish, 1:30, I'm then eating lunch, and then I eat dinner. And I can't do that. I can only have 2 meals, and I don't want to eat before noon. So yesterday I had dinner at 8. My fast went 92 hours. So at 2 o'clock, I ate, and I did not eat much. I had an avocado and a little of the Chinese food, and I didn't even finish what I had in my plate. I had an egg roll and some General Chow and some rice and some broccoli. That's the meal, and I didn't even finish it. It's in the fridge. Just the quarter that I took, I didn't finish the quarter, and then I went swimming and I went to the lake and walked, and it was 98 degrees. It was so hot out, so I got a water, and then I came home. And it was about 7:30, 7:45, and that's when I I made my omelet with some chicken and my peppers and my broccoli, and that was dinner. and I ate that at 8, so I'm not going to eat till noon, which is okay. That's my 16-hour window. I don't want to eat at 8. I want to eat at 6, but if I prefer walking the mile and a half at the lake. Anyway, as I said yesterday, everything's about the market. Anything you look at, houses, what the market bears, cars, steaks, ribs, chicken, food, clothes. I looked at shavers today, razors. So I got a Bic. The first one was like $12 for 12. I ended up getting, I think for $4, I got Bics, which are, I think I got 10 of those. A razor's a razor. I mean, as long as it shaves, I don't care. If it does the job, why pay 12 and you can pay 4? And I did that. So I did that. Not a lot to buy at the grocery store. I did buy my ginger root, which they didn't have yesterday at the other grocery store by the lake. So I went here, and it was Monday morning. I knew they'd have it. And so I got that. But, some fruits and some veggies. And that was it. It was like razors and toilet paper and odd stuff that you're not eating, but you need once in a while. Again, it's free market. You can buy the Meyer brand, or you can buy Reynolds Wrap. Reynolds Wrap was like $1 or $2 more. That's aluminum foil. What the fuck? And I know sometimes we go to the dollar store, but I don't care. I'm not going to drive to the dollar store for what I bought today. And the dollar store is not $1 anymore. So if I were to buy my toilet paper at the dollar store, it probably would have been very close in price. Excuse me. It would have been very similar in price. I paid 7 something for Charmin, and if they even have Charmin, it probably would have been 7 something. So it's not like it's $1 like it used to be. So it's really just like a Aldi. Really, these dollar stores now are like Aldi's, but Aldi's aren't convenient. They're not very close. So if I happen to drive by one, I might go in, but otherwise, Meijer's a mile down the road, so I usually go to there or to my meat grocery stores on the way back from swim. Anyway, everything's with the market, but what everybody misses, the dollar has no value. That's what everybody misses. They don't understand it. They have no value. It's the concept, because you go to the grocery store and it's $50 and you pull out $50 and you pay them. What you don't realize is the 50 you give them is not worth what the 50 was. I showed you that scenario from earlier in life from 20 years ago where you could fill your cart with $20. Then it was half, it was like in the 70s and 80s. And then in the 90s, you got pretty much in there for 20. And now today you get 3-4 items. My first items were, what did I get? I got like the razors for $3. The toilet paper was $7. There was another couple of $3. Spinach was $3. I was at $20, and I put in 5 items in my cart, and they're all way expensive. Razors should not be $3, but you don't transfix that it's the dollar that's lost the value, not anything else. So that's really what the key is. The dollar lost the value. Not every item in the grocery store went up in price. The dollar loses price, so you need more dollars to buy it. Okay, we'll get more into economics later. Let's look at preseason football. So let's go through the games, and I'll go through the quarterbacks if I can find the quarterbacks. Where did I put my quarterbacks? So the only one I have to look at is Miami and the Bears. All right. So Baltimore wins 24-16. That's what they do. Indy, Daniel Jones sucks. Although I did like Riley Leonard. I think he's their best quarterback. Richardson, I don't know why he's there as a quarterback. These owners / GMs, whoever are running the team, really don't have a clue. or they're, oh, I can sell more tickets if I have a running quarterback or a fast quarterback, or even though we can't throw, we're not going to win any games. At the end of the day, you have to win the games. And the problem with they fire the coach, they blame the coach. Oh, Anthony, you couldn't win. Look at the coach. He's gone, right? Now they got a new coach. He won't do it. Oh, he'll fix it. No, he won't. He's a quarterback coach. Then hire a quarterback coach or hire an offensive coordinator, but don't hire that as your head coach. Like Ben Johnson from Detroit to Chicago, he doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know how to coach. He's an offensive coordinator, and as he showed you in the Buffalo game and the Washington game, he can't game plan worth shit. Where against Washington, you needed to run the ball 50 times. Nope, he kept throwing some strange reverses. He likes the helter-skelter. I'm going to run left, and then I'll play action back right, or I'm going to slant this. I'm going to pull my right tackle to the left, and all these misdirections. That's all he is. And once you understand that, it's easy to defense it, right? You don't go for the fake. You wait. You stay at home for the other. You just keep your opposite tackle waiting for him. And that's where they're at. So they blew that. So what's he going to do now? He's the coach. Well, he can't just be the offensive coordinator. He's got to be he's got to run the team, and he's got to do offense and defense. He's got to make the calls on third down, fourth down. And you got Caleb, you're in trouble. I saw yesterday. Well, let's look at that game so we get the quarterbacks. So Miami, Zach Wilson. Quentin Ewers, Jesus Christ, and Tag. Nobody threw a touchdown pass. Zach Wilson got sacked 4 times. Ewers sacked 2 times, 5 of 18. Now, here's what I love about Tagliabue. 5 of 6 for 27 yards. What is that? 5 passes for little checkdowns. Ewers stinks, 5 of 18. Zach Wilson, 5 of 9, threw for 96 yards. The Bears. The Bears needed to play Caleb. They didn't. Baggett, 13 of 19, 103 yards, 1 touch, 1 pick. Case Keenum, also better than Caleb. And A. Reed, I don't know who this guy is. So if I look at A. Reed, he's from Western Kentucky, born in 2000, so he's 25 years old. I don't remember him at Western Kentucky, Reed. And I usually remember the Western Kentucky quarterbacks. They're usually pretty good. Anyway, Zach Wilson, BYU, Ewers from Texas, and they're all better than Tagliabue. And the same thing with the Bears. Baggett and Keenum are both better than Caleb, but they won't look at that. Miami Acne ran Madison, I guess, from the Boise. It was on the Vikings. And then Chicago, absolutely nothing. Mana Gaga from Rutgers, 6 for 30. And receiving, you're not going to see much. All right, so that's Chicago, Miami. I think that was the last one. San Diego at New Orleans. I'm not a big Tyler Shaw fan. I like him because he went to Texas Tech, but so New Orleans, I think I put it in. Rattler, Hayner, and Shaw. Yeah. Shaw 15 of 22, Rattler 7 of 11, and Hayner 5 of 8. And Shaw had a touch and a pick. Rattler sacked 3 times, and Hayner 5 of 8 with a pick. But, you don't know if it's his fault or the receiver tipped the ball up in the air. San Diego, again, we went with Trey Lance. I'm not even going to say Uglia, Buglia, and Heineken. Trey Lance, 7 of 14 for 55 yards. Very impressive. 2 sacks. Booglia Booglia, 1-1 for 49 yards. Big deal. And Heineken, 1 of 5 for 8 yards. So Heineken was missing. Rushing, Rattler wants to be a runner. Cam Akers, Choppity Claire's on the team now. And we know they got Kamara and San Diego. I don't know who's R. Sanders. Haskins from Michigan's on it. R. Sanders from South Carolina. Never heard of him. So let's go through our scores. What a day we had. So Baltimore wins 24-16 with the backup, of course. Philly 34-27. McGee looks good. Burrow looked great. Hits Chase on a touchdown. They both played the first quarter. They put up 14 points, and then that was it. They didn't do anything else. Philly gets 34. Good offense. So it's a good scheme they have there when the backup. But Cincinnati, how bad is their defense? Can we really tell from here? I don't know. Again, you've got your 3s and 4s playing, so it'll tell you. Oakland 23, Seattle 23. Ends in a tie. Oakland tried a field goal at the end, and it got blocked. Cleveland 30, Carolina 10. How bad is Carolina? Their defense obviously sucks. If Prime Jr. threw for 2 touchdowns. Everybody thinks Bryce Young's good. They don't look at who they played. Oh, he had 7 touchdowns and 0 interceptions in the last 3. And who did they play? They played nobody. He didn't beat a good team. And I'm not convinced he's there. Okay. Let's see against Carolina in a weak division. He's going to get murdered against Alabama with the 2 new defensive ends, and he's going to get trouble with Tampa Bay. So you go to Tampa and win, you go to Atlanta and win. Okay, I'll be a Steve Young fan, but it ain't going to happen. Detroit 17, Atlanta 10. Again, this is a nightmare game. We had the over. We won the over, but I don't think they pay out because it didn't go the whole game because they sat and watched. What a bunch of losers. Oh, the guy's injured. Oh, my God, we can't play. Well, basically, that's ridiculous. The guy's injured. The guys get injured all the time. You don't stop the game and, oh, he can't play. He hurt himself. All right, he hurt his neck. He's fine today, so how serious was it? But why would you stop the game? You didn't want to play. If it was a championship game, you think they'd stop it? Well, it's the NFC Championship game. Oh, a guy got hurt. We better stop the game and go. Let's go cry and pray that he'll be okay. I mean, this is football. You know what you're getting into. You know the risks. So what the fuck? New England 48, Washington 18, but no Daniels. They didn't do a lot. I don't really know how they scored all their points because it wasn't. Maybe it was returns and turnovers, I guess. The Giants beat Buffalo 34-25. You had Russell Wilson. You had Danny DeVito. You had a whole slew. We had Winston, Russell Wilson, and Dart. I hate to break it to him, but Russell Wilson and DeVito are the best too. Then you get into Winston's a turnover machine, and Dart, he's more of a running back. Buffalo, they're fine. They didn't. They just had backups out there, of course. Minnesota 20, Houston 10. Houston must really suck because many, I'm sure, had their 4th string in there, and they only got 10 points. That's what you get with Davis Mills. Who's the other turkey? Stroud, Slovis, Mills, and Mertz. I mean, they're like Minnesota. Their choice of quarterbacks are so bad. Why would you draft or even free agent Mertz? What are you looking at? This guy sucked at Wisconsin and he sucked at Florida. Oh, he'll be good in the NFL, though. I can count on him if Stroud gets hurt to complete a pass, maybe. Just terrible thing. Minnesota's not any better. They're McCarthy's terrible. Howell, Brett Rippon, and Rooster from Minnesota who sucked. Again, what are you doing? Why would you pick these guys? These guys, all of them suck. You got such a good defense, and you got Justin Jefferson, and this is the shit you give them. And last year you gave them Darnold, so they don't like good quarterbacks, and they never will win a Super Bowl. They did it with Fran Tarkington, right? Joe Cap, Fran Tarkington lost 4 Super Bowls. They've never had a good quarterback, Minnesota. Rams 31, Pittsburgh 31, Jacksonville 25. Pitt looked pretty good, although Jacksonville stinks, we know. Pitt went with Skylar Thompson and Mason Rudolph. Rudolph's been there, so he was okay. Skylar Thompson, and then Aaron Rodgers. So it's got to be Rodgers and Rudolph, basically. Jacksonville, they went Lawrence Mullins, I think, from Iowa, Seth Hannigan, and Wolford. Oh my God, it's just terrible there. And Lawrence is not good. Mullins is probably the best they got. He's average. Dallas and the Rams. Stenson Benson goes the whole game, puts up 31. Go Dogs, the Georgia guy. Dallas is Dallas. Will Grier and Milton. Now, Will Grier is very good. Will Grier should be their starter. He was great at Florida. Just like Kyle Trask is very good. I mean, and he played very well yesterday. Tampa Bay, 29-7 over Tennessee. Cam Ward struggled. Tampa Bay with basically a lot of Kyle Trask, and they win 29-7. So there you go. Tennessee, Ward, some Allen, and Boyle. Boyle's the guy that sucked on the Lions, sucked last year. He sucks wherever he goes, but he keeps somehow getting into training camp. Look how bad I am. This B. Allen, I don't know which B. Allen it is, but not good. And Ward's not good. So I don't know. People think Ward's good. I don't know why. I mean, again, one of these runners, how is he different than Milrose? Not very. Arizona gets the upset over KC. Well, it wasn't an upset. Game was like even. Arizona 20, KC 17. Mahomes played one pass. Pacheco was in. Kelsey was in. The defense played. So it was pretty good. Arizona had Kyler Murray and Jacoby Brissett, and then Tune. But Brissett looked pretty good. So he's okay. He's not a starter, but he's okay. He's a good. If you lose your starter and you got Brissett, you're okay with it. The Jets is 30, Green Bay 10. We played the over in that game. We got the W. The Jets is Fields, Cook, and Adrian Martinez from Nebraska. I think he ran a lot. And that's what you're doing in the preseason. These running quarterbacks, you need them to pass. They're not there to run. I got receivers. That's why you're supposed to throw it to the receivers. Green Bay went with Love, Willis, and Clifford. Now, Willis, I'm not crazy about. Clifford from Penn State, I think, is pretty good, but he's not really getting a chance. Or Penn State runs an unusual offense, I guess, because their quarterbacks never do anything. Denver kills the Niners 30-9. Denver, very good team. Denver has Bo Nix, Ellinger, and Stidham. Now, they got 3 good receivers. I'm fine with Ellinger from Texas and Stidham from Auburn. Some teams don't have any quarterbacks, and then Denver pulls 3 out. And that's what you get with Sean Payton. He knows talent. That's what you get with Andy Reid. They know talent. And that's what you get with Minnesota. They're clueless. All right. Miami and the Bears, 24-all. We just talked about. And San Diego 27, New Orleans 13. San Diego looks pretty good. New Orleans is shit. So let's look at our picks. So we start with Kansas City 7.5, Cincinnati even. KC does their part. Cincinnati loses. The only loser. Then we had Oakland with Cleveland on Tuesday, the early pick. And Oakland wins, and Cleveland plus 9.5 wins. The line went to 6, but once it's in, it's in. And with Prime Junior, and Prime Junior played. So that was a winner. Then we went to Detroit over 26.5. Technically, they did get to 27, so we picked the game right. I don't think we could cash it, but that's not the point. With the Rams as a home dog, and the Rams went outright. Then we have Tampa as a home dog, and they went outright, and San Diego as a home dog, and they went outright. And then I played a last one, KC with Green Bay over once I knew Mahomes was playing, although I expected more than one pass, but the Green Bay over. So we hit KC, we hit Oakland, we hit Cleveland, we hit Detroit over, we hit the Rams, we hit Tampa, we hit San Diego, we hit Green Bay over, and we had Kansas City twice with Mahomes. The only loser, Cincinnati even. Joe Burrow did play, did score 14 points, but Tyler McGee looked pretty good for Philly. Or Tanner McGee from Stanford. So very strong in preseason. Maybe I should bet preseason. I normally don't because I don't want to bet on third and fourth stringers. But since I've been doing this, I know people are listening, and I told them to put your starters out there just to get them the experience of playing in a game and not week one when nobody's played together. And I'm seeing that. Mahomes played, Burrow played. Burrow never would have played, but he had that injury with his foot last year. So he's healthy and he's pissed. Understand, Cincinnati's one pissed off team. You have Chase and Burrow. That's all you need. You do have the new runner in Brooks, who did see action. And then you got Hendrickson, which we'll sign. He's not going to turn down $15, $20 million to play. He will play. They signed the other end in their it was a number one pick or number two pick and a cornerback. So they're not that bad defensively. When they are having a chance to win, all teams are better defensively because then the defense goes, if we can just stop and Burrow win the game for us. So they play at a little higher level, and that's the key to it. So that's what you're looking for. So if we let's look at the standings. So we'll run down the teams. The Jets probably won't win a game. Terrible quarterback play. New England, I don't think they'll win too many, and Miami won't win too many. Three bad teams. Miami has the terrible defense. New England with the terrible offense. And the Jets are terrible all over the place. And then you got Buffalo. So Buffalo gets an easy 6 wins here, which is what always with Tom Brady. He had an easy 6 wins because Buffalo wasn't good. So it's funny how Buffalo's good, and then Tom Brady comes, and New England's good, and Buffalo stinks, and now Buffalo's good, and now New England stinks. So look for Buffalo in the championship game. I don't know if they can beat Mahomes, or worse, if they can beat Denver and Bo Nix. That's who they're going to be playing, Denver or Kansas City. You've got Baltimore, the Lamar choke. Pittsburgh, look for them to be really good this year with Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf, and apparently this great defense. Let's see if it really is. But if a player says we got a great defense, he's not bullshitting. He just wouldn't say anything. So look for Pittsburgh to be very tough. Cleveland, if they got Prime, they're in big trouble. And then Cincinnati, look for them. So I think it's Cincinnati and Pittsburgh for the division, and Baltimore a close second, and Cleveland won't be able to handle the 3 teams. So where Buffalo goes 6-0, Cleveland's going to go 0-6. Maybe they win with Lamar, turns the ball over for him. But basically, Cincy's going to kill him week 1, and Pitt. Look for Pitt with Aaron Rodgers, and now he can taste it, right? Oh, we got a great defense. I got DK Metcalf. I got a guy, Johnson from Iowa, who can run. Yeah, look for Pitt to kind of feel that, hey, we're a good team. We have a chance, and that's huge. That makes them play much better. So look for Aaron Rodgers to play much, much better this year. In AFC South, we got Houston, Tennessee, Jacksonville, and Indy. Worst division in football. Houston, great defense, really weak offense. Tennessee, no offense, no defense. They're pathetic. Jacksonville, no offense, no defense. They're pathetic. In Indy, really little offense and no defense. So none of these three teams have defense. So let me go and show you what I mean. So we go to last year's, which I used for week 1 here. And if I go through these, so let's look at it. Jacksonville, a 26 defense. We've got Indy, a 25 defense. We've got Tennessee, a 27 defense, and Houston's a legit 22 defense. So Houston's got the best defense. But if we look at the teams, Jacksonville's a Z team, which means no offense and no defense. Indy's an E team, so their offense is okay a little bit. And then Tennessee's a Z team with the 20, so no offense there. So you got 2 Z teams and an even, and the even team is Indy. And then you got Houston, who's an under team with the great defense and no offense. C.J. Stroud. See, people ask me, well, will he have this? Will Bo Nix and Penix have a second, the sophomore jinx? There's no such thing. The teams adjust to what you're doing, and they take it away, and you suck, so you can't do anything about it. That's what they're doing. That's what the teams do. They learn, but Penix will not have one, and Nix will not, and neither will Daniels. Daniels will be fine. Does he need McLaurin? Well, it would be better, but they got Cliff Kingsbury. It won't really matter. That's where the receivers are out and you worry when you make the bet, and then you go, and then all of a sudden they throw all the balls to the tight ends and the running backs, and you go, they're fine without the receivers. They have guys that can catch the ball, so they can play with 3 running backs or line up the running back as a receiver. It doesn't matter. So McLaurin, will they miss him? Yeah, he's a good receiver. Will he sit out? Absolutely not. Maybe a week or 2. Nobody in their right mind who makes $10, $15 million is going to sit and not take the paycheck. He can bluff now, but when week 1 hits and Daniels goes to him, we need you, and the team needs them, they got big games, you think he's going to sit down? And if he sits down, he's got to take the brunt from the players. Like, fucking sign already. Take your money or play or whatever it is. Chase did that last year. He ended up caving and playing, and then he got a big contract at the end of the year. And so McLaurin will play. Micah Parsons probably will. They asked for the trades, just bullshit. They're not really asking for it. Okay, and then the best division, we got San Diego, Denver, Oakland, and Kansas City. Let's look at this. So San Diego is an under team with an 18 great defense. KC's a B team, didn't score as much, but they got a 19 defense with Spagnolia. Then you go to Denver, who's an A team with an 18 defense, and then you go to San Diego, Oakland, who was a Z team last year, 26, but here's where the variables change. We now got Coach Pete. Adding Coach Pete makes you a better team. Adding Gentry makes you a better team. Adding Chip Kelly, they are not a Z team. That's really what you must contemplate, the variables changing, and that's why I say it, and that's why you can't do trend analysis. If I did trend analysis on Oakland, I'd be betting against them every week. They're a Z team. They don't score. They got a bad defense, a 26 defense, even with Max Crosby. But the variable, that's what I mean when I say the variables change, and that's what I don't like about trend analysis. It only works, it does work, if nothing changes. I can use it on KC, right? Mahomes and and Andy Reid have been together 5 years. So those trends for those 5 years, I can now use. That I can use it on. Buffalo, I can use it on. Teams where the coach and quarterback, Philly, I can probably use it on, although they change coordinators. But if I look at a 3-year chart, I can use it. But then you've got Barkley on the team now, and you've got all the Georgia defensive players. So it is a bit different. Um, Denver, I got Bo Nix brand new, and Penix and Daniels. Those changed the variables. So I cannot use a 3-year trend on any of those teams. And so you see the coaching changes. Coach Pete, well, maybe I can look at Seattle, Legion of Boom with Marshawn Lynch. I can maybe look at, and they won every game, but I can't look at Oakland last year, and those trends are useless. That's what I mean by technical analysis. If the variables change, i.e., brics has changed, comex is blowing up, hopefully, the inflation, the de-dollarization, the tariffs, you cannot do a technical analysis on any of that shit because you're looking at an analysis without brics and an analysis with brics. So you can do a brics analysis, which is maybe the last 3 years, where they started buying gold and now they're getting off the dollar and now they're not trading and now they're growing. Now there's 20 countries and it's really 40. So that's what I mean by technical analysis don't work. They do if there's no change, but when are you going to get no variables changing? I mean, very, very rarely it's the same as last year, right? So that's what we got. So best team, it's going to be between Kansas City and Denver. We'll fight for the title. San Diego will be a game or 2 back, and Oakland probably 3 or 4 back. They're going to struggle in the division where I told you Buffalo is going to go 6-0. Nobody's going 6-0 in this division. Denver will beat KC. They'll probably split. It's Denver, San Diego will split. KC, San Diego will split. And they're all pound on Oakland. So there'll be at least 4 losses for Oakland. They might get 2 wins, but we will see. So those are your divisions. So as long as I'm here, let's look at week 1. I'm not going to look at a line now. It's still too early, but Philly 7, 46.5 against Dallas in Philly. Philly an A team with an 18 defense. Dallas with an E team with a 28 defense, even with Micah Parsons. So that's what you get out of it. They're Philly the better team. KC, San Diego, members from Brazil, and it's Friday night. KC was a B team, even though they made the Super Bowl, because they didn't really have the offense they did. And we know that this is what we know. They're not as strong offensively, but the defense is still killer. 19 defense. San Diego, an under team with an 18 defense. Is San Diego going to get a little bit more offense? I don't know. Harbaugh likes to run. He thinks he's at Michigan. He keeps looking for the Northwestern game here. KC will be his Ohio State game, but then he's going to have it again with Denver. And if he plays Baltimore or Buffalo, he'll have 4 or 5 Ohio States. Mahomes against Herbert. The first game was Dak against Hurts. The next game, Carolina, Jacksonville. Jacksonville 2.5, 46.5. Both teams are Z teams, Carolina and Jacksonville. Carolina with the 31 defense, Jacksonville with the 26. Did Carolina's defense get any better or worse? I think they drafted a receiver in the first round from Arizona that I don't really like. So a 31 and a 26. So their defense is still terrible. Steve Young's terrible. Lawrence is terrible. So you have 2 terrible quarterbacks. You have 2 terrible defenses, and you have 2 Z teams. Can you use the trend? Jacksonville got a new coach, I believe. In Carolina, you can lose last year's trend. I think they had a new coach last year, maybe 2 years. It's pretty pathetic. Play against Carolina is 27-7 in 2 years. Play against Jacksonville last year, 15-2. So I think maybe the coach was there last year. I like the coach they had before from Philadelphia. He was fine, and he couldn't do anything. This guy, well, he's a quarterback guru. Bullshit. There's nothing you can do with Trevor Lawrence to make him any good. The Giants at Washington. Variables have changed. Giants were a Z team with the 24 defense, now has Russell Wilson. They now have my guy Scatterboo from Arizona State, who got 1,700 yards and 21 touchdowns. So you've added 2 big pieces. Jackson Dart, Russell Wilson's better. Washington, an over team with the 23 defense. They got Daniels. They were 17-3 against the number last year. We can use that. It's the same coach, same quarterback. Hopefully we got the Ohio State guy, the receiver, McLaurin, playing. Funny, he was never any good until Daniels got there. Now he's good. Yeah, now I want the money. No, honor your contract. Did he sit out at Ohio State? Probably. So Washington, we'll see how good their defense is. That'll be determined if they can get to the championship game. Their defense gets better. They got Daniels. They've got a decent running attack with Eckler, and the receivers and the tight end are good, Zach Ertz. So they're going to score a lot on you just because Daniels is so fucking good. But it's the defense. So the Giants now, are the Giants a Z team? Same coach, but you got Russell Wilson and Scadaboo. They are not the same Z team. Z team has no offense and no defense. They will have a better offense, which will make their defense better by default because they'll hold the ball longer. They don't turn it over. The defense gets a chance to rest. That's the key to having a good offense. That's why KC wins all the Super Bowls, because they just methodically 5 yards here, 2 yards. Oh, Mahomes runs for a first down. Oh, Kelsey on a pass. And they just keep the ball away from you. And then they go and score. And that's why KC, that's the teams you like. The 49ers with Montana would do that. They'd keep the ball away from you. And then, boom, he'd hit Rice on a 40-yarder for a touchdown. But look at that in the first championship game in 81 against Dallas. They had 5 turnovers and they just kept the ball away from Dallas on the final drive, and then they were clutch. Montana hit it, and then they held them on Dallas's drive. But that's you get your first downs and eat up clocks how you win. Detroit tries to do that. It'll be interesting to see what they do because they like to run the ball a lot. Then they hit you on these kind of counter plays. And so they're trying to do that. Their defense sucks, but they try to do that. Let's see, where are we? So look for Washington. They're either going to be an over or an A team. They're going to score. How good is their defense? And the Giants are definitely going to score more. How bad's their defense? Pitt and the JETSs, the Jets, are a Z team with the 24 defense, and it got worse because they at least had Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams. They don't have that now. They're going to rely on Fields, who sucks. He'll try to run. That's all Fields can do. He can't throw. So he did that at the Bears as they went and won 3 or 4 games. He goes back, can't find a receiver, and runs. Their head coach is terrible. Their defensive coordinator got fired from the Niners. So they're a Z team, and I expect them to be even worse this year. Pitt was an under team. I expect them to score more. They'll score in the 20s, and they gave up 20 last year, so they should get better. Rodgers against Fields. The Giants, Washington, Russell Wilson against Daniels, and Steve Young against Trevor Lawrence. So again, the variables changed for Pitt. They got a quarterback now, a real one, and they got DK Metcalf, who's far better than Givens. Arizona, New Orleans. What do we have here? We had Arizona with Kyler Murray. You'd think would be a high-scoring team. They didn't. They were an under team with a 22 defense, and New Orleans is an under team with a 23 defense, who I think's headed towards a Z team. Rattler's terrible. Tyler Shaw, a Texas Tech guy, and Hayner, who I liked at Fresno State's a winner. So I don't know who they're going to go. So I don't know who. It's Murray against either Hayner or Shaw. Are you really going to start Shaw? So I don't see it. Will the defense be good? You still have Kamara and Olave. What are you going to do with them? Oakland, New England. Oakland, a Z team with the 26 defense. Geno Smith now against New England, a Z team, 25 defense with Drake May. So adding the new coach for New England, that's a variable. That's a change. And Oakland has Coach Pete now. So both teams have made changes. We cannot look at their trends because they don't make sense. They're not with Coach Pete and Mike Vrabel. I keep tongue-tying Mike Vrabel. So Oakland's offense just had Brock Bowers, now has Gentry, and now Geno Smith, who's okay. So they move up from a Z. We'll see how far they go. 26 defense. Coach Pete should get a better defense in there. And Chip Kelly should score some more points. New England, a Z team with Vrabel. Their offense still stinks with Drake May and a 25 defense. Will it get better? With Vrabel, it should get better. He's a pretty good linebacker at Ohio State. So he had Urban Meyer and he had Belichick. So he had some pretty good coaches, right? 25 defense. I would expect the defense will come down a point or two for both teams. They'll both be like 23s. It's the offense. So I expect Oakland's offense to come up dramatically with Chip Kelly. New England, I don't know who their offensive coordinator, but I don't see it coming up with Drake May. He really can't throw the ball. Miami and Indiana. Miami was an under team with the 21 defense, which isn't too bad. Tagliavua. Indy, an even team with the 25 defense. They'd score on like Richardson's runs and shit like that. Not a real team. Jonathan Taylor's good. So 25 defense, and that's what hurts Indy. By the way, play against Indy 17-0. I think they changed coaches last year, so I think we're still getting the shit coach. So Indy's a much bet against team, but I don't know if Miami with Tug is any indication who I want to play. So it's either going to be Richardson. Now, if Indy was smart enough to go with Riley Leonard, I think they would be a better team. I think they could win 8 games. Richardson, you're looking at 3 or 4, and God, if they go to Daniel Jones, they won't win a game. Enough with the running quarterbacks. Why do they want to have a running quarterback? Richardson and Jones both run. Riley Leonard's actually more of a runner than a thrower, but he looked pretty good at Notre Dame, so I think he can throw it. But, yeah, all their quarterbacks are runners. I don't know who the GM is. It's the owner, I believe, so he's totally fucked up. So I see Miami going down, getting worse, and Indy, if they go with Leonard, they'll be a little better. Otherwise, they'll be the same shit. Cincinnati, Cleveland, since he was an over team, they would score with Burrow and Chase, and their defense sucked. 26 defense. Burrow against Flacco here. Cleveland has as a Z team. They don't score. They had a lot of injuries to their quarterback, Deshaun Watson. How they signed him, guaranteed money. So what does he do? He says, thank you. And he doesn't play again. A Z team with a 26. Now, they got to start Flacco at least in the first few weeks. Even with Myles Garrett, their defense isn't good. They did get rid of Nick Chubb, which I think is a huge mistake, but he did hurt his knee, so maybe he just couldn't come back from it. Burrow will start out on fire because they lost their first 3, and then they missed the playoffs by a game. They're not gonna start out 0-3, especially with starting with Cleveland. Look for them to win this game comfortably. Believe me, they're pissed. A guy like Burrow and Chase, who won a big national championship at college, are champs. They're winners. And they start losing, they get very pissed. So would Mahomes. Josh Allen, I don't know about. Lamar, he's just, I don't know what he does. But most of the good teams, when they lose, get pissed. So that's what you got. So, again, the variables did not change for Cincy. Yeah, they added the running back. So a little variable change. Cleveland, who knows who the quarterback is? Flacco, I think, was there last year. They go to Prime Jr., they're in big trouble. If they go to Gabriel, he'll take them 4 or 5 weeks. So I think the first 5 weeks has to go to Flacco and get everybody used to it. I don't know the injury to Gabriel, how serious that is, but he was injured. Pickett's got a hamstring, and I don't know why Pickett's even there. I guess they just needed bodies. It's like Atlanta getting Kirk Cousins. We need somebody, no matter how bad they are. Tampa Bay and Atlanta. Tampa's an over team. Atlanta should be an over team this year. They could be an A team. Again, Variables changed for Atlanta. You can't use any from last year. Tampa, you can use. Those variables haven't changed. You got the Baker, you got the same coach, you got pretty good defense. So they were an over team, even though they gave up 23, they scored a lot. And Atlanta is an E team. In other words, they scored about 23, 24, gave up 25. Now, the variables, Pierce and whoever the Georgia defensive end, who's all pro already, will get a lot of pressures and blitzes, and they're going to eat up the quarterback. They both can play big time. And that's a key. And then you got Penix the whole year. So look for Atlanta to score a lot more and shut you down, a lot of sacks. Atlanta is not going to be an over team. What they will be, we don't know. Probably a B or an A team. But it's the changes. It's the variables. They changed. Where Tampa, pretty much variables are the same. Baker, the coach, the defense, nothing really new there. Even if they went to Kyle Trask, I would keep Tampa where they are. So again, Baker and Penix there. Penix is the better quarterback, actually. San Francisco and Seattle. Frisco minus 1.5, 45.5. Frisco, an even team with the 26 defense. Brock Purdy, they get, again, variables change. They get McCaffrey back. Seattle, an under team with the 22 defense, so they don't score a lot. They got Darnold, who's we saw is not great. He had a good record, but he had a good defense in Jefferson. Now he goes to a team without a good defense. Look at Minnesota's defense last year was a 20. Seattle's 22. Minnesota's offense is much better. So I do look for Seattle to get a little better with Darnold, but they don't have any receivers. And the Niners, an even team. I look for them to be an A or a B team. With Purdy and McCaffrey, they're a whole different team. Now, the defense, we'll see. Again, they got a new defensive coordinator. We'll see how he is. But it's the Rams to win that division. So Seattle, an under team, maybe goes up ahead. Maybe they go to an E team. But their defense will be low. Tennessee, Denver. Denver, 7.5, 43.5. Ward against Bo Nix, not even close. Tennessee is Z team with the 27 defense. Denver an A team with an 18. We could use Denver's 1 year trends. We can't use Tennessee any of their trends. Denver was 16-2 in the teaser last year. Play against Tennessee was 15-2, but we can't really use it. Cam Ward, I don't think he's any good. Certainly was not the number one pick in the draft. 27 defense. How did you fix that? You didn't. You went with the quarterback instead of a good defense. Instead of the Georgia guy you could have had, you went to the quarterback, but you still are at 27. He ain't going to do shit. The 27 defense, they're going to light you up. Look for Denver to make the next step, possibly win the division, possibly be in the AFC Championship game. Hey, David, who do I like in the Pats and Raiders game? I think it's a close game. I don't know about the scoring. As of now, I'm not sure if who's the quarterback. You just got to be careful with the injuries. But right now, I think it'll be a tight game. So I'll give you that. Let's see. So Tampa, Atlanta. So anyway, Atlanta. No, I'm past that. Tennessee, Denver. So again, Bo Nix, 16-2 last year. The variables haven't really changed. It's Sean Payton, it's Bo Nix, and that's what you got. And they got the Augustine, the running back from Notre Dame, and there you've got very balanced offense, very strong defense, an 18 defense last year. Look for it to get better. They did get blown out by Baltimore, which was surprising, but that was a little new for them. Now they've seen him. They got to get used to his speed. And you can see how Pittsburgh's gotten used to him. Cincinnati got used to him. Buffalo, they're all okay. We've seen it. Tennessee, they'll be a Z team again. Cam Ward won't do it. He'll run around. But then on defense, the defense still sucks. So look for high scoring games in Tennessee if Cam Ward starts getting a few touchdowns, which I wouldn't bet on. Houston and LA, Houston an under team. LA 2.5, 45.5. Stafford had the back problem, but with the disc, I think he'd be okay, they said. LA was an under team. Had a good defense with the 23. Look for them to be better. They signed Devontae Adams, Pukanuka. They got rid of Cooper Kupp because he was always injured, which hurt their offense. So now they got two guys that should be out there. Houston, an under team, 22 defense. Stroud against Stafford. It's not close. Stafford's much better. Houston, an under team. I don't see where they've made any changes. Stroud will still be bad, and the defense will be very good. The Rams, adding Devontae Adams, their running back is good. Their defense is good. I think they'll be an A team. I think they'll score a little bit more with Sean McVay, and their defense will get even better. The defense should go to a 20, and their offense should get to about a 25, 26. Detroit and Green Bay, both over teams. Green Bay still 1.5, 49.5. Golf against Love. Detroit's 30-8 in a teaser, and Green Bay is 15-3 last year. We can use both variables. Will hold. Same coach, same quarterback. That's the biggest one. The defense I don't worry too much about. And then Green Bay, again, Love's there, and their coach is there. And the defense is skeptical. And so with the Lions, their defense. I don't buy that Hutchinson will be back first week. If he is, he'll be lucky to survive it because they'll go for his legs and break it again. I don't think it'll be ready to go week one. So both are over teams. Both have good offenses. I think Detroit's offense will be good. Their defense is questionable. Green Bay with a very good offense and a decent defense, but in the bigger games against Detroit, they lost. Minnesota, they lost. I remember the Minnesota game. We had them as a dog, and Minnesota was up 31-0. And then Green Bay made it 31-28 at the end, but Minnesota had a 31-0 lead. Minnesota got 31 on them. So, again, the variables don't change. So here's where you can use the technical analysis. Baltimore, Buffalo, here's where you can use the technical analysis. Buffalo, 1.5, 51.5. Both are A teams. They score a lot. Good defenses. Not great. Baltimore with a 21 defense. Buffalo with a 22 defense. Lamar against Allen. Baltimore 16-3 in a teaser last year. Buffalo 17-3 in a teaser last year. Baltimore has trouble with Lamar. They're trouble as a favorite with Lamar because he doesn't know how to finish out the game. He'll turn it over, or they know his plays now. Buffalo, very strong at home, much stronger at home than on the road. Again, 22 defense. I think they added Boza, one of the Bozas who's always hurt anyway, and Josh Allen. I think they got rid of the linebacker, Von Miller. I think they got rid of him because he's just too old and beaten up. Anyway, both are A teams. I don't see anything changing. They'll both stay A teams. Normally when A plays A, we take the dog. In this case, we probably will go over. And our last game, Minnesota and the Bears. And the Bears were a W. Minnesota was a B. Minnesota with a 20 defense, the Bears with a 22. But you can't variables change for both teams. You got rid of Darnold, which is stupid for J.J. Darnold. J.J. McCarthy, who's never played. Very stupid. You got Jefferson. Just leave Darnold with Jefferson. He was fine with him. And then you got Caleb, but now you got a new head coach. So it's J.J. against Caleb. Both quarterbacks suck. The Bears were an under team because they couldn't score, but they have a good defense. Minnesota was a B team. I look for Minnesota to be an under team with McCarthy probably running a little bit and not a really good thrower. and they have a very good defense. So I think this is a defensive game. This is an Army-Navy game, two good defenses going at each other. And two weak quarterbacks. Now, will McCarthy be anything? I doubt it. Will Caleb be anything? Absolutely not. Prime Jr. will not be anything. I keep hearing all this. It's funny how the news, I'm in the car going to go, oh, let's look at preseason. Oh, Prime Jr. got 2 touchdowns. Oh, my, is he the all-star? And everybody Mel Kiper gets the laugh. Yeah, okay, Mel. Yeah, you were real good with that one. And I'm sure you were good with Trey Lance, too. So you can't look at Trey Lance and say, oh, what a good quarterback he is, because in the preseason against the third stringers, he didn't do anything yesterday. He ran for some yards, but he didn't throw anything. Let me get my water, please. I got this water yesterday at the gas station because I was so hot walking in 95-degree heat and I didn't have any water. But I still put it in this because I want the ginger and the cinnamon to get to it and the lemon. So even though I got that, I prefer to use the spices. So that's pro football look. Again, the variables are the key. Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore, Detroit, Green Bay, you can use them. Detroit, you got to be careful. New offensive and new defensive coordinator. And we know how that's going to work. And let me see. When is my haircut? 8/20. Oh, okay, next week. So we have that. Let's go through baseball now. Isn't it a fun class? Where else can you get this stuff? Where else can you get honest football analysis? Not from some idiots who go, oh, look at Prime Jr. Yeah. Again, I watch college, so I see what they do in the big games. I'm only looking at Notre Dame, USC, and USC, UCLA, USC, Oregon, those games to do a Caleb and to do Penix and to do look at the difference. Caleb struggled against Oregon, right? They lost 40-6. Penix beat them twice. That's why I say that, right? I'm wondering, Dylan Gabriel is much better. I don't know why he went 4 for 18. Maybe he was injured and he couldn't run or walk. Well, so that's why he's on the injured list. We will see. All right. But this is about winning and gambling, betting football. That's what this is about, not the bullshit. All right, so let's look at yesterday. Minnesota won 5-3 in 11 innings. I didn't play them. We played Miami over 8.5, or over 8, which actually pushed. Cincinnati 14-8 over Pittsburgh. We didn't play, but look at that score. Normally Pittsburgh doesn't score. Atlanta 7, Miami 1. There you go. So I had Miami over 8. It's a push. Houston 7, the Yankees 1. Now this is surprising. Max Fried 12-5 with the 2.94. Gives up 7 runs to Houston, and the Yankees don't score. What the fuck was that? And the guy they beat, George Costanza, 3-1 with a 5.02. This is the problem I have with baseball. It's got a 5.02 ERA, gives up 1 run. Fried with the 2.94 was probably a 2.5 before the game, gives up 7. How does that happen? Again, because they're averages. and there's different matchups. See, in baseball, there's so many different matchups. How do you match up against each team and each hitter is really the key to it, and that's what's so difficult. Where in football, we pretty much KC plays Denver twice a year. They play Oakland twice a year. We've got the thing. We know what we're looking for. We can see how did they do. How does KC do against Oakland? We can see that, but you can't. How does Max Fried do against Houston? We don't really know. I mean, maybe he plays them once a year. Even when they play, does he pitch? So Fried did play Houston, and they did get their ass kicked. But again, he might not have pitched against them all year, so that doesn't really mean anything. Again, with variables changing, it's not like you can even look at last year and go, "Oh, Houston's probably got 5 or 6 different players," so it doesn't mean anything. Oakland 3, Baltimore 2. We played Oakland over 9. Again, high ERA pitchers. Oakland hits, Baltimore hits, 3-2. They played like a 12-8 game on Saturday and a 3-2 game Sunday. Detroit 9, California 5. Jack Kanawowicz, 3-10 with a 6.19, is the worst pitcher in the league. So I didn't bet Detroit. Casey Mize, I guess he gets the win, but not very good. It's got a 3.5 ERA, was a 2-something ERA. Even Scooble's struggling. You just get tired, and it's just a long, hot summer. So I didn't play the game. I would have played the game over, but Casey Mize, I wasn't sure. LA, I'm not sure they're hitting. Detroit, I'm not sure if they're hitting. So everybody's like, "Oh, Detroit's back." You played the worst pitcher in the league with a 6.19 ERA, and you're happy that you got 9 runs. But against Philly with Ranger Suarez and the other guy, you got 1 run or you got shut out. And that's the problem with the Tigers. They beat up on these bad pitchers, and that's what they were doing earlier in the year, and all their batting averages were high. The reason it was false is the pitchers were bad. So they're hitting. But then what did you notice? As soon as they started playing good pitchers, they were getting shut out. The White Sox split with them, and they didn't have great pitchers, but their pitchers shut them out. And Kansas City won 2 out of 3. So as they play better pitchers, or as the pitchers get better and get more in tune, Detroit, oops, you're looking under the curtain. Yeah, Riley Green strikes out every time up. He hit a home run against Jack Kanawowicz, 3-10 with his 6.19. Wow, he's a great hitter. I mean, that's the problem. Milwaukee 7-6. We hit Milwaukee, who was on a 7 or 8 game win streak, and they came back. They were down 5-0, but they win 7-6, and they're on their streak. And we have Milwaukee. That was a 4-unit play, so that was good. We lost the Yankees as a 3-unit play, and we lost Cleveland as a 3-unit play. Cleveland surprised me. Chicago beats them 6-4. Slade Chisoni, 5-5 with the 4.11. Lost to Davis Martin, 4-9 with the 4-7. Cleveland, they were on a roll. They'd won 6-7 in a row. Philly, the White Sox had lost 6-7 in a row. It's a Sunday. It's just I noticed that Sunday the streaks break. Philly 4, Texas 2. We have Philly. We have Zach Wheeler getting the win against Patrick Corbin. There you go. That's what should happen in the Yankee game. Fried should have got the win. Wheeler held them to 2 runs. Philly got enough, 4 runs. They just know how to win, 4-2. So we hit the Philly game. Washington 8, the 49ers nothing. Verlander 1-9 with the 4.53, loses again. You just can't bet on it. You almost got to bet against Verlander. I mean, he just has lost it. He's just too old. I know, like, I'm trying to swing a golf club, right? And it's just hard. As you get older, your body doesn't move. Your back's a little tight. You can't hit through the ball. I can chip. I chip with a 9-iron and I putt. And the putting's hard because it hurts my back. And the chipping's okay. And I'm punching the ball with the 9-iron, but when I try to take a full swing with the 9-iron, I can't hit this, and I can't go through the ball. It's just too painful. All right. Arizona 13, Colorado 6. We have Colorado over 9, and Brandon Pfaadt comes through with his 5.03 ERA, and Tanner Gordon 2-5 with an 8.3. So that was a perfect over. 13-6 Arizona. We're over 9. Boom. San Diego beats Boston 6-2. Dylan Cease is starting to pitch. Keep that in mind. You look at his 4.52 ERA and you go, oh, but when you look at his last few games, he's pitching. Brian Bello for Boston, 8-6 with the 2.25. So good game for Dylan Cease. Toronto 5, the Dodgers 4. Oh, I like that the Dodgers lost. Toronto, very good team. Both can hit. I don't know why I didn't go over on the game, but I didn't. I think it was a high over. Seattle 6, Tampa 3. Now, I initially took Seattle under 7.5. We lose. But then we come back with Seattle on the winning streak, and Ric Flair gets the win. 10-6 with the 3.08. Adrian Hauser, 6-4 with the 2.84. Seattle got 6 runs on Adrian Hauser. Maybe it's probably the reliever that's fucking the unders here. Yankees and Mets are struggling. Yeah. I think the problem is the coach. They're all monkeys, right? So when it hits the 6th, I bet he took Fried out in the 6th, and then the relievers blew the game. Let's take a look at that. In our last game, St. Louis 3, the Cubbies 2. The Cubbies hit the ball all over the field Saturday night. Sonny Gray against Shoto and Managa, and 3-2, and I didn't play it. Let's look at the Yankees. Let's see what their problem is. It's 7-1. What was the score after 5? 1-1 probably. Let's see. Houston scored a run in the 1st, a run in the 3rd, 2 in the 5th, 3 in the 9th. So let's take the box score. So we got Alexander going 6 innings, gives up 1 hit. So they didn't hit George Costanza with his 5.02 ERA. Is almost amazing. I mean, wow, how do you bet that? So they're not hitting. They only got 3 hits in the game. Did Aaron Judge get walked every time? Max Fried goes 5 innings, gives up 8 hits and 4 runs. So it really wasn't. T. Hill comes in the 9th and gives up 4 hits and 3 runs. But outside of that, Williams and Hendrick don't. So it really wasn't the manager's fault. Fried gives up 8 hits and 4 runs, 3 strikeouts and 1 walk with a 2.94 ERA. How is he giving up 8 hits to this team? And he pitched 94 pitches. So sounds like what happened is Houston did a bunch of foul balls and walks. They only had 1 walk, but it was a lot of pitches to go through 5 innings. Let's look at the Yankees. Grissom's hitting 245, leading off. B. Rice, 231, batting second. You got some problems here. Judge hitting 337, goes 0 for 3 with a walk. Corey Bellinger, 0 for 4, hitting 272. Chisholm, 1 for 4, hitting 237. Dominguez, 0 for 2, hitting 253. Stanton, 1 for 2, 275. Volpe, here's your problem, 0 for 3, hitting 217. Where's Derek Jeter? Vince McMahon, the third baseman, 0 for 2, hitting 250. And then Wells, the catcher's hitting 208. So you had 2 bad hitters, Volpe and Wells. The rest are 230, 250, 270. Rice hitting 230. But where was the first baseman, the big guy? He didn't play yesterday. Why not? He had Max Fried on the mound. So that's the problem. He didn't get, whatchamacallit, I can't think of his name. The big first baseman who's hitting like 270. So you leave him out for a first baseman hitting 230. So maybe he got hurt. I don't know what happened with God, I can't think of it. Big power hitting first baseman. See, I'm not thinking about him. That's why I can't think of him. It's just comes in like I'm just my thought goes, and I'm thinking Yankees. And I know they got the big what's his name? I don't know. Anyway, Houston. So Pena's hitting 315. So look at the difference. The leadoff hitter is hitting 315. The Yankees is hitting 230. Correa, he's back 2 for 5. He's hitting 280. Altuve, 2 for 3, hitting 280. And they both had home runs, Correa and Altuve. Walker, 238, your cleanup hitter. Caratini hitting 267. Your catcher, look at the difference in catching. This guy's 260. The Yankees is 210. Sanchez, your left fielder, is hitting 250. Smith, the right fielder, 250. Dubin, the second baseman, 266. And McCormick, 235. They don't have any bad hitters. They got, a pinch hitter. I don't know. He went in to play. He didn't hit. But I mean, it's 315, 280, 280, 260, 250, 250, 260. Now, this Houston team shows up once in a while. And then sometimes you look and they got 2 hitters. So the manager's really fucking us. So they had the alumni game, TK for the Yankees. Clemens was there. I heard Rivera pulled his Achilles. They were making a big deal about it. Well, he's not actually playing anymore. Too bad Mickey's not in that game. I remember they used to have Yogi and Mickey and Joe Pepitone and Whitey would be there. Yeah, those games are better than the regular games. All right. Billy, they're all dead. Who's left? Who's left from the 50s and 60s that can play? All right, let's go. Today is 8/11. And we'll start Phillies and the Reds. These are night games, so no worry. The Reds 129.5, 68-49. Phillies 62-57. Cincinnati's not that bad, 62-57. But Phillies, and it's not even Milwaukee's better record than Philly. I hate when the guys think that if you have the best record, you're the best team. What is that, Moron 101? Well, you got the best record. Well, yeah, it doesn't make you the best team. You had the easier schedule, probably. All right, Taijuan Walker, 4-5 with a 3.53 against Andrew Abbott, 8-2 with a 2.34. We keep adding Andrew Abbott, and he keeps giving up a lot of runs. I looked at his stats. He'll have a few good games, and he'll have a bad game. Taijuan Walker with a 3.54. So I'm not going to bet this game under with Andrew Abbott. I think I like Philly here. Walker's pretty good. Abbott, he's just not a 234. I mean, 234, it's all zeros and ones and twos. He's got some 7s and 5s in his record. So it just happens to go like that. 129.5. So yeah, I mean, Philly is a dog, probably alive. This is Abbott. I don't know. I hate betting against that. I can't go over. It's 9.5. So I don't know. I should take Cincy, but I don't trust them. I'm gonna go Philly. They're the better team. Walker's not bad. 3.53. The record's hard because the manager pulls you. You don't finish the game. You don't get the start. We got the Twins and the Yankees. The Twins beat up on the Tigers last week and had a decent series with KC, so they're not that bad. 56-61. They're still chasing the Tigers and Cleveland. Yankees minus 185 and 9. Now, you've lost with Fried. How do you lose with Fried against George Costanza? What, are you kidding me? Zebby Matthews, 3-3 with the 5.17. Shut down Detroit last week. Will Warren, 6-5, 4.4 free. How do you bet the Yankees over? They don't hit. They have a terrible lineup. So does Minnesota. But with these pitchers, I can't bet under with these. I got a 5.17 and a 4.44. So now I'm not doing anything, but we'll check the streaks. Although Minnesota won, the Yankees, I don't know what they're on a bad streak. Pittsburgh, Milwaukee. Milwaukee, I know, is on a big streak. I am taking Milwaukee automatically. This will be a 3-unit play. Milwaukee minus 210 and 9. Andrew Haney 5-9 with the 4.77. Jose Quintano 9-4 with the 3.57. I don't care. I'm taking Milwaukee anyway, although they do have the better pitcher in the game. Yankees lineup sucks. It's all Aaron Judge. And then Vespi, the shortstop. I'm sorry. You got to put him back in the minors. If my guys aren't hitting 225, they don't belong in the majors. I don't like this OPS shit. Well, he walks a lot. Yeah, I don't want a walker. I need a guy who can hit. You must have a hitter. You got to have a guy hitting 290, 300, or like Drudge hitting 330 versus, but he gets a lot of walks, but I don't care about that. That doesn't really matter. That's a non-issue because I got guys on second and third. I don't need a walk. I need a guy who can hit. And my 180 hitter, I can't really count on. I love when the Tiger manager, he'll pinch hit for one of his better hitters because he's left-handed, and now a lefty comes out, and he'll pinch hit a righty who's hitting about 150. And then you wonder why the guy strikes out, and you're like, or they got this guy from New York, Jones, and started off hitting about 400. That was after about 7 or 8 bats. Now he's down into the 240s. And now you know why the Yankees let him go, because he's not that good. But on the Tigers, well, and that's the whole thing with the Tigers. They were hitting, and now they're not. They're facing good pitching. They can't hit. They get a game like yesterday against the worst pitcher, and they hit him. But that didn't solve the problem unless they get a weak pitcher every day, which is what they won't. Just don't pitch the Judge and you beat the Yankees. Well, I would walk him all 4 times. There's no way I'm going to pitch to Judge. Why would you pitch to him? Just like Barry Bonds at the end there, they just intentionally walked the guy every time. Because if you put it over the plate, he hit it into the McCovey Cove. I mean, so yeah, I mean, if you want to win, you take away the strength, which is Judge, absolutely. See, that's the difference in baseball and football. You can walk Judge. You can't do anything with Jamar Chase and Burrow. You can't walk Chase, and you could try double teaming him, but it's not going to work. Just like you tried double teaming Kelsey to take him away. But you know what you can't do is double team Burrow or Mahomes. You can't do anything with those guys. All right. So we're taking Milwaukee. Washington, KC. Washington, 47 and 70. Doesn't mean a thing. KC, 58. You can't say, well, KC's so much better. Washington's thing. No, it doesn't matter who they played. They did win 47 games. So more than likely they're going to lose, but it's the pitching and how they're hitting. KC, 155 and 9. Cade Cavalli, 0-0 with an 0-0-0. Again. Bailey Falter from Pittsburgh, 7-6, 4-1-4. Yeah, I think KC might win, but I'm not touching it. Again, Cade Cavalli, you don't know what to think of him. Maybe he's good. Maybe he sucks. Detroit goes to the White Sox. Detroit 145 and 9. Detroit 68 and 51. The White Sox 43 and 75. I question if Detroit will get to 82 wins. When they were 60 and 46, I said that. I don't think they won't get any more than 82 wins. And let's see if it holds up. Chris Paddock for the Tigers from Minnesota, 4-10 with the 4.91. Elvis Peguero, 0-0 with the 4.91. He's a bullpen guy. So you got the White Sox bullpen. I don't know how good they are against Chris Paddock, who absolutely sucks. So using my theory that Detroit will hit the weak pitching, but the White Sox will hit their weak pitching, we're going to go over. So we go the White Sox over 9, and we'll go 2 units. The White Sox can win the game if their bullpen's okay. See, they need somebody who can go 4 or 5 innings in the bullpen. And Chris Paddock's terrible. They think Chris Paddock's any good. They thought Morton was any. I mean, these guys suck. Yeah, good luck. That's why I don't think they'll even make the playoffs. They're going to lose most of their games with the bad pitching. Colorado goes to St. Louis. St. Louis 228.5. Chase Dollander 2-9, 668 goes against Miles McCollus 6-9 with the 5-1-11. Okay, over under of 8.5. We got to go over here. This is just like very easy one. So we go Colorado over 8.5. They can hit. They can't pitch. Both pitchers are 6 ERAs. So I look for, I don't know, all I need is 8.5. Seems like the line's way too low. Colorado's got 30 wins, 30 innings. So why don't I bet St. Louis? Because I can't trust Miles McCollus. And I don't like laying 220. That's ridiculous. Arizona at Texas. Texas 167.5. Ryan Nelson, 6-3, 3.20. Nathan Eovaldi, their ace, 10-3 with a 1.38. Go Texas. Beat Oklahoma. I'm going to go Texas 3 units. Arizona looked pretty shitty against Detroit. They're at Texas. Eovaldi probably shuts them out here. Paul Goldsmith. That's the Yankee I was thinking of. See, it comes in when I'm looking at Arizona. Yeah, Paul Goldsmith. He used to play for him. So Eovaldi should shut him out here. I'm not fucking with the under. I'm just taking Texas. Boston at Houston, two very good teams. They're even 66-52 Houston, 65-54 Boston. Boston 175, 7.5 because Garrett Crochet, 13-4, 2.24 against Christian Javier. We will take Boston also. And we'll go 3 units on it. I like Crochet. He usually comes through and gets the win for us. And 2.24 ERA. So he's the boss there. Yes, we saw Houston with all the good hitting, but now they get a good pitcher, and the good pitcher will shut down the good hitting. David, remember Clemens, TK? He used to pitch inside a lot and hit the hitters. That's why it was so good, because you're worried about getting hit. Now you're thinking about that instead of his pitches. But yeah, he was a great pitcher. How he's not in the Hall of Fame makes the Hall of Fame really, what's the point of the Hall of Fame? Yeah, Ruth and Gehrig and DiMaggio and those guys, Mickey Mazer, and okay, but the rest of these idiots they're putting in there are fucking ridiculous. And then you don't put in Bonds and Clemens. You finally put in Pete Rose. How can they have a Hall of Fame without Bonds and Clemens? Jesus Christ. The Dodgers go to California. The Dodgers 188.5. Yoshi Yamamoto, 10-7 with the 2.51 against Jose Soriano, 7-9 with the 4.01. I don't know. I don't like Yamamoto that much. 10-7, 2.51. Low ERA, but it doesn't win. Probably pitches 5 innings. I'm going to lay away. The Chargers and the 49ers. This was a great game in the 80s. There was Dan Fouts against Montana. It was like 45-41. Montana won, of course. The Niners, 125-7. Yu Darvish, 1-3 with the 6.51, goes against Logan Webb, 10-8 with the 3.24. Yu's been pitching better. Let's look at Yu's last 5 games. He's actually from Japan. I thought he was from China. Well, that's all he's got is his last 5 games. He's pitched 6 games. He's pitched 6 games. He gave up 3. Those are hits. He gave up 3 runs to Arizona, shutouts the Mets, 8 runs to St. Louis, 3 to Washington, 4 to Philly, 2 to Arizona. So he lost Arizona 6-3. He's got him, and then he lost. Oh, okay, they're not playing Arizona. 10-5. He's had 1 shutout against the Mets, 7 innings. Most of his outings are 4 innings, so he's not even like really going deep in the game. So it's like a bullpen game. And so I can't really trust that. Logan Webb with the 3.24 ERA. San Diego can hit, but they never do. And the Niners have no hitting. But I'm going to leave this alone. I seen San Diego's bullpen in the All-Star game, and they sucked. In our last game, Tampa Bay and Oakland. San Diego, by the way, is 66-52. Tampa 57-62, Oakland 53-67. But Tampa's got it tougher. They got to play Boston and the Yankees and Toronto, and so that's a lot of their problems. Tampa Bay 105-10. Ryan Peapod, who I don't like, 7-9, 377 against Jeffrey Springs for Oakland, 10-7 with a 389. I cannot bet this game under. I can't bet it over. I got two decent pitchers, although Peapod doesn't impress me. So I'm going to leave that alone. So let's look what we got. We got Philly 2 units, Milwaukee. I'm doing 3 units here. The White Sox over 9, 2 units. Colorado over 8.5. I should do 5 units, but I'm doing 2. Texas 3 units and Boston 3 units. Now let's see if there's any streaks that we need to be aware of. And American League, we have Tampa Bay on a 3-game losing streak, but I'm not going to count it. The whole Central is on 1-game streaks. Seattle's on a 7-game streak. Do we have Seattle? Texas is on a 4-game losing streak. We did play Texas, but Evaldi's going, and he's not in the streak. And then Seattle on a 7. So let's see. Do we have Seattle going today? They might not be today. No, we don't have Seattle. So we can't bet them, but we will bet them tomorrow because the streak still stands. All right, National League. The Mets on a 7-game losing streak. Everybody else is on a 3-game winning streak, which I'm not going to. Philly, we did play. Miami's on a 3-game loser. Atlanta on a 3. Milwaukee on a 9-game. We did play, and that I know. And Colorado's on a 7-game losing streak, but we played them over. So those are your streaks. So the Mets playing. The Yanks are playing. No, I don't see the Mets. All right, so that's what we got. So Colorado, we didn't bet on. Texas is the only one that do we play the streak or do we play the pitcher? And that's really the hard part of baseball because Evaldi hasn't lost in the streak, right? It's a 4-game losing streak, so he didn't pitch in it. So he's kind of like their ace. So again, now it goes where they're playing Arizona, where they were playing, Boston or somebody. And that's the difference. So that's baseball today. We've talked preseason football. Anything with economics. We talked about the market in economics, so you people can understand it. So it's always when prices go up or costs go up, which raises price. Prices go up because the costs go up. Costs go up when you do tariffs or when you do tax increases. Anytime the government adds their 2 cents, you fuck everything up. Because again, it's supposed to be laissez-faire. Leave it alone. Don't get involved. Just let me and you do our trade. That's it. That's all you want to do. But it doesn't necessarily, we're the ones paying for it, right? I saw a lot of sales at the grocery store, or I'll get the Meyer brand aluminum foil over Reynolds wrap. Now, if it was the same price, I'd buy Reynolds wrap, but for $1 more, I'll buy aluminum foil is aluminum foil. Toilet paper, why is that $8? But you kind of compare. Got the shavers, the razors. I got the Bic instead of the Schick or whatever. One was $1 a piece, and the other one was 10 for $3. So it was like $6 cheaper. Okay, so you want to raise prices, Schick or whoever the hell it was? I'll just ignore you and I'll buy Bic for $3. I don't care. I'm looking for a blade. I don't care what it is. Just give me a blade and I'm going to shave. So this is where competition comes in. This is where the free market comes in. And that's why shit can't just raise their prices. I mean, it's just the regular razor, right? It's a plastic handle and that. I mean, who gives a fuck? You can shave with it. It's got a blade. You got shaving cream, shave. So that's where a lot of stuff comes in. Now these tariffs, oh well, we're gonna, phones and computers will be more only if they come from China, but they'll stop coming in from China. China will not pay the tariffs. So on the other hand, China will then move their practices to Indonesia. To like this is a what do I got here? This is a Brooks Brothers. This is Indonesia, not China. They moved to Indonesia to avoid tariffs. I talked to the guy at the store. So a lot of them are just moving countries, which then takes the tariff. Trump's trying to get money from the tariffs, but he's out of his fucking mind because it raises. He thinks, oh, I'll get tax revenue in to help balance my budget. He can't even balance the budget. So he thinks, well, I'll get the tariff revenue in because I'm going to tariff these people. They're just not going to sell. It's like raising taxes, right? You make taxes 80% on your income, nobody will work, or we'll all move to a different country. What do you think all the rich people are doing from China and England and Germany? They're all moving to Dubai because the tax rate's cheaper. They don't want to pay. They got the money. They can easily move. That's what they did. A lot of Chinese billionaires, millionaires moved to Dubai. Simple. But you got to have low taxes, right? That's a must because the government does not produce revenue. Their revenue is taxing us. Well, that's not revenue. Billy Wagner got in. I mean, that's how pathetic the Hall of Famer is. I barely remember who he is. Brooks Brothers is good. Yeah, I mean, polo is getting too expensive, and Brooks Brothers I look at as competition. So I buy the Brooks Brothers much cheaper. And I mean, this is a fucking t-shirt. This is not, but I have my polos. Most of them are polos. My golf shirts are mostly polos, but I bought them years ago. I was with Jenna and it was like an old shirt. So it was longer and she didn't believe it was a polo. Oh, it's a fake. And I said, yeah, I mean, look at the logo. What are you talking about? Fake? Why would I put a polo player on it? But that's the thing. They were better made in the past and they still fit. So I wear them. I'm not going to throw out a good polo shirt. Tariffs are bad. Mexico is cheap. Yeah, tariffs. Well, anytime you tax and increase the cost to the manufacturer, he either lays off people or he goes out of business. Because he can't just mark up his income, his sales price. You can't just make this phone $500. This is $100 phone. I'm not going to pay $500 for it. I'll find $100 one from Indonesia or Mexico or anything. That's what I'll do. So it's fine. It doesn't bother me because I don't look at it. I'm not into brand conscious. I don't need a polo shirt. I can get a Brooks Brothers. Or I wear Nautica. The only reason I don't wear some of them, they don't fit properly. And some of them just don't feel comfortable. I don't want to buy them. So this is okay, Brooks Brothers. I got some Hilfigers July 4th when I was up north, and then and this one and the Brooks Brothers, the Hilfiger and the Nautica. But the Nauticas aren't as comfortable, but they're cheaper. So it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. So I fast for 92 hours. Which is my record because my biggest was 70. So I did the 4th day. And if you ever want to do this, what you do is you wake up and it's tomorrow, Tuesday, and you go, I'm not eating today. And if you can do that mentally, you won't eat. You'll be a little hungry and you drink a lot of water and tea and stuff like that, but you won't eat because you're saying, I'm not eating today. And if you can say that, you won't eat. It's amazing. I wasn't, then so I started Wednesday night. I ate. Thursday, I said, I'm not eating today. I started my fast, which I wasn't even sure I was going to start it on Thursday. Then I wake up Friday. I go, nah, I'm not going to eat today either. So now I'm on a 48-hour fast. And I wake up Saturday and I go, I'm not eating today. So now I'm at 72 hours. And all I said was when I woke up, I'm not eating today. And then yesterday I kind of said, well, okay, I can eat today. It's been 4 days. I, I could have not eaten yesterday. I wasn't that hungry because I drink my water and my tea and my coffee that I needed to eat yesterday. I could have simply, it was 2 o'clock, I ate a little bit, and then I got hungry after walking and swimming. I go walk the lake. It was like 95 degrees. So that's why I bought the water. And this is like at 6 o'clock at night. But the key was, if I would have said I'm not going to, let's go one more day, I could have went one more day, because now your body adapts. And that's when we looked at the diabetes from our doctor on YouTube, and he says you adapt. So you adapt to get diabetes because you eat too much sugar and too many carbs. But on the same token, if you don't sit there and eat ice cream and Oreos and Pop-Tarts and chocolate chip cookies and cake and ice cream, your body adapts and too much sugar. But on the same token, if you stop all that shit and you do your fasting and everything else, you'll lose your diabetes. Your body will adapt to what you're giving it. So if you're giving it a lot of sweets, it'll adapt to it. If you give it no sweets, it'll adapt to it. Your body's great. Just let it go. Yeah, Trump with the tariffs. I don't know what he's doing. It's how he thinks it's good. Again, variables have changed. Your competition with BRICS, your competition with the gold-backed currency. He's crying about the de-dollarization. There's no such thing as de-dollarization. All they're doing is BRICS is going to a gold-backed currency, and we're going to trade in our currencies. I mean, they can still trade with the U.S. if Trump wasn't an idiot and it left it at free trade. You could have traded in BRICS, and you still could have traded with the dollar. They're not trying to do it, but you sanction Russia where they can't use SWIFT. So what do you want Russia to do? They have to come up with a new currency to trade. So all these countries got together and said, we'll trade amongst each other then. We don't want the US dollar anyway. This is worth nothing. So we really don't want the dollar. And if they make us put it in T-bills, we're never going to get paid back because they don't have any money. They got a $37 trillion debt. They can't balance their budget. So it's going to 40, 45 until it collapses. Now, when they talk about the economic collapse, what you need to understand is all that's happening, this is worthless, right? So the economy in US dollars is worthless. Now, all you need to do is have it backed by gold. So now if you come in with a US dollar backed by gold, there's nothing wrong with the economy. It keeps going. All that collapses is this dollar. This is what collapses. So it's not the economic system. The system is fine. We go to work, we get paid, we then take the money and we pay our bills, and then we eat, and we go on vacation and we play golf. So that doesn't change. That whole system never changes. Since the Romans, it doesn't change. And all that happens is it's just you transfer the dollar to one that's backed by gold, the euro to one that's backed by. All currencies are worthless. Anything not backed by gold or silver or something has no value. It might have $100 on it. If you notice, like Venezuela dollar or Zimbabwe dollar, they have like these $100,000 dollars or $10,000 dollar bills. They're worth like $2 American. They're not worth anything. And that's what ours is going to be. So once you see a $10,000 US bill, don't walk to the exits and run. Get the fuck out of here to a BRICS country, because when you convert your $100,000 bill into gold, it'll be worth 2 cents. So that's all it is. People who don't understand, scare everybody. No, you're not scaring anybody. We're just going to gold. That's why you need gold, because that at the end of the day, I got gold. I have freedom. I have wealth. Because when you convert it and the dollar, look at gold, $35 an ounce now, 3,400, let's say. There's no, all it is the difference is the gold-backed currency is worth more. So it shows you how much the dollar is gone. But look at the difference in gold. So a $3,400 gold is, $35 would buy you the ounce. You now need 3,400. So that's how much the dollar's fallen. So now I need 3,400 to buy the same ounce of gold I was paying for 35. I want to own gold because it went from 35. Really, what they're kind of saying is it's not that 35 was a real value, but the value of gold, whatever it really was, has stayed the same. They printed all these dollars to make the dollar, you need more dollars to buy the same ounce of gold. That's kind of what they're saying. And my argument is, well, the 35 wasn't accurate. The 3,400 is not accurate. We don't really know what that value of gold is. That never changes. But yes, the ounce of gold doesn't really change. It's the dollars going around it that do. But my argument is always, except for now, the demand for gold is higher. So the value of gold goes up because the demand is higher because everybody's getting out of their monopoly money. So if they're all into gold, high demand, low supply, price goes up. That's all I'm saying. So the price goes up. The value of the gold is the value of the gold. Nobody knows what that is. Well, that's you can trust me is about what I tell you. Yeah, I trust Egon, and that's about maybe Mark McGuire, but he's kind of wishy-washy. And Alligator, I don't trust much more. Just trust me, that's it, because I give you the truth and I give you Austrian economics. Most of the people are Keynesians. Most of the people are salesmen. All these guys that are Andy Shackman, he's selling Peter Schiff, Jim Record. These are all Ponzi schemers. They're just buy my gold or buy this or buy that. Ray Dalio is fucking clueless. You can't really, that's why I don't watch too many people. I only watch Egon, really. Mark McGuire, just to know what's going on with BRICS and gold-backed currency and stuff like that. But that's all I'm watching. I'm not really, and I agree with you. It's not that I don't trust them, because at my level of understanding economics, as I'm listening to them, understand they don't know economics. They don't know what inflation is. This is the first and simple part, and we can talk about it. Inflation is devaluing the money by printing it. Not anything to do with costs, not anything to do with prices. There's no such thing as wage inflation. The CPI doesn't mean anything. None of it is appropriate to inflation. It's simply inflating the supply of anything, in this case, dollar bills. So if it's inflating because you're printing more dollars and the dollar loses value because there's too much. Just like a sale at the grocery store, they got oranges on sale for 99 cents because they got a million of them and nobody's buying. So they lower the price to bring in the sales. And that's what you've got with the dollar. You've printed so many of them, there is no value left. And that's what happens. So this is that's the inflation, and that's why the dollar's worthless, and that's why we have to get out of the dollar. And you choose, and I say, well, I can buy Mano cards, which are great. I can buy Rolexes or one of those type of watches, but I know Rolex is very limited. Or you buy the Van Gogh over my shoulder. That's a poster, not real. Or Picasso's or something like that. Or you buy gold and silver. Well, gold and silver is better, but why would you buy Bitcoin? That's still dollars. You're still on the Titanic with that. It's still paper. It's valued. It's $110,000, but the dollar isn't worth anything. Gold went from 35 to 3,500 or 3,400. So that shows you as the value of the dollar goes down. So Bitcoin is paper. You want to get out of that. And we don't even know what it is. It's not real. You can't hold it. You can't even see it. So how the fuck can it be real? TK, natural health is the best. Yeah, absolutely, David. That's why I fast. Your body will, you break your leg, your body cures it, right? You break your arm, your body cures it. So if you just fast, my body went through and cleaned up all my cells for 4 days. For 92 hours, my body cleaned it. My body healed me. I lost some weight, which I was trying to do. I actually tried on my pants yesterday, And I was able to get into like my jeans pretty much. And then I was able to get into, I think, one dress pant. And I still can't get into my suit. So I'm gonna make an omelet with veggies and finish up some of my Chinese food. That's chicken. So I'm gonna eat that, some broccoli. So I'm eating that, and that's it. And then I'm gonna go to the pool, and dinner is gonna be. I have either the Chinese, so it's an omelet with veggies for lunch, and it's going to be chicken with a salad for dinner, and that's it, and nothing else. I bought almonds unsalted for like my snack and nibble, and I got a nibble on cauliflower. No more chips, no more. I couldn't even find dark chocolate at the grocery store. They were all sold out, and the other brand wasn't on sale. I'm not paying $4.75 for it, so I'll just go without. I think that's my problem. I'll run out of dark chocolate because the price went up. And when I run out of it, then I got the sweet tooth. So I go get a sundae or an ice cream or cookies or something because I got that sweet taste in my mouth. So no more sweets. We'll figure till Thanksgiving. I'll check in with you on that. My family is just ignorant. Oh, my family is much more ignorant than your family. I told when I got my master's, I said, oh, I learned all this stuff. And I said, oh, Social Security is bankrupt, the dollar, the inflation, and it went right over their heads. My brother's got a CPA from Michigan, and he was clueless. He had no idea. Now, you went to Michigan, you're a CPA, and you're clueless. I told you I went into an interview a couple years ago, and I interviewed, I always interview for senior financial positions. So I'm in the interview and he says, do you have any questions? Now, this is after we've gone down everything. I had to teach him what a budget was and costs and stuff like that. So when I got to a question, I says, yeah, do you know why gold is $2,500 an ounce? Why isn't it higher? Like, do you understand why it's $2,500 an ounce? The guy had no idea. This is a finance director at a company not knowing what, besides inflation, why the gold price was so low. Didn't even phase him that it should be. Most people are so blindsided by Madoff and the stocks. I'll make money on stocks. You're still in the money. Your Intel or Amazon might be $120 a share. You're still in dollars. I always talk to Luke about this. He wants to be in the miners. And I said, but you're still in dollars, even though you're in the silver miners and you're making money, just like Bitcoin. What are you making? Dollars. Are they worth anything? No. So you're adding worthless dollars to your portfolio instead of bringing in gold and silver and mantle cards. This is the part I struggle with that people just don't understand. My other friend, oh, I got a $500,000, it's my retirement in my 401k. It's worthless. The people cannot comprehend that it's worthless. And this is and I know it's worthless, right? See, they don't know it's worthless. I do, because it's in dollars, and you can see we're collapsing on a $37 trillion debt. Trump's trying to do stable coins because he realizes nobody wants the dollar. And the key thing to really understand value is if nobody understands, if nobody wants something, if nobody will buy this is a $100 bottle of whiskey. If nobody will give me the $100, it's worthless. It's only worth something if somebody will trade for me. Is there demand for it? Well, the fact it's 12 years makes demand for it, and the fact it's Canadian club. But if I try to sell it and nobody wants it, it's worthless. I'm not trying to sell it because I used to work there, and I very much liked working there, and it's a memento of the place. So I don't have it to sell. I have it to remind me. But the dollar, nobody wants. All the BRICS countries are getting away from the dollar. And then Trump sits there and pisses off his allies, Canada and Germany and the UK and France and Italy, pisses them off with the tariffs. Switzerland. China, what are you doing? So China says then no more minerals for your military. All of a sudden, Trump, he didn't think of that before he did the tariffs. So tariffs and inflation are two huge variables that people just don't understand. And so they're looking at a technical analysis, and it's like, you can't, the variables change. BRICS, inflation, tariffs have changed the variables. It's like it's like now you have Daniels at Washington. You can't look at Washington before Daniels. You got to look at Washington with Daniels. You got to look at Atlanta with Penix, which is really his first year this year. Played in 3 games last year. So you can't even look at Atlanta to get variable because the variables change. I got Penix now. I got Bo Nix. I got Sean Payton. I got different pieces to the puzzle. So therefore, I can't use a technical analysis. Yes, you agree. Well, that's good, David. I hope you do. I'm just telling you, I have no skin in the game. I'm not selling you gold and silver. I am not Peter Schiff. I am not Andy Scheckman trying to sell you gold and silver. Oh, buy it, buy it, buy it. I'm explaining what's happening. Your money's worthless. I don't care if you believe me. I'm telling you the truth. So you either listen to me, but then what happens is you start listening. Luke starts listening to this O'Dowd guy. He doesn't know he's not an economist. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He used to work at BlackRock. Talk about trusting people. I don't trust anybody who worked for Soros or BlackRock, Larry Fink. You've got to be out of your mind. As soon as I see or hear that they did or that they're Keynesians, I shut them off. There's a guy, Martin Armstrong, some guy, this O'Donnell guy from BlackRock quotes him. Well, I looked up Martin Armstrong. He did a Ponzi scheme and was in jail for 11 years. So he's a liar by default. He did a Ponzi scheme. You want to listen to this guy. I mean, this is amazing. It's like your daughter dating a guy and yeah, you just got out of jail for killing 5 people. Yeah, I probably don't want to have my daughter dating this guy. I mean, this is what's insanity. So be careful. Martin Armstrong, he was on Mark McGuire once. And I put in my notes, this guy was in jail for Ponzi scheming. Are you out of your fucking mind having this guy as your guest? So I don't think you'll see him on Mark McGuire anymore, but that's insanity. But yes, families, Bobby ran into Bobby Bowe. He was buying gold and silver, and then he tried to get his family into it. And no, I'll take money instead. And he'd go, and his daughter would go, but you can't take gold to the grocery store or silver or whatever. And it's like but soon you won't be able to take the dollar to the grocery store. It won't have a value. And you can see what's happening. If they took silver, you'd fill your cart to the rim with silver at the grocery store and pay it with the 1 ounce. But the dollar, like I said, I bought, it was $45. Everything was $3 in monopoly money. But in silver, the whole thing, I would have gotten change. I could have filled my cart to the top with 1 ounce of silver. But we need to get silver prices in, not the monopoly money prices. So it's 45. See, the problem is, okay, it's $45 monopoly dollars for my groceries. But if I paid with silver, it's $38 of monopoly money silver. So silver's not at its real value, or is gold. So even though silver's gone up, silver should be $1,000 an ounce. And then I go to the grocery store and everything gets adjusted. Milk's now 1/10 of an ounce of silver. Mercury dime, steaks, a quarter. For a silver quarter, you should be able to buy the steak. Now the prices are adjusted. Now you come in with 1 ounce of silver, you're filling your cart. That's what I mean. That's what will happen with houses. 500,000 is monopoly money. When you translate that into the gold value, it'll be maybe 10,000, 20,000 for the house. But people are so used to thinking in monopoly money terms. It's not backed by anything. It has no value. What are you missing here? It has zero value. Well, it's got 100 on it. It's got a president on it. It says, "In God we trust." What does this say? Legal tender for public and private federal. It's a Federal Reserve note, but the Federal Reserve prints too many, and they're worthless. And then how they think the economy works is, well, I know we have all these government workers, and I know it's very expensive, and they don't produce revenue. The only revenue they produce is taxes. So let's raise taxes to get more revenue in it. Oh, why don't they do something productive, like sell golf clubs or something? So the government can never work because they're just expenses. All right, let's see. See, what is this? I'm really glad we're catching up. No name. What the fuck number is that? So I just go in and block the number. And now I won't hear from this idiot. So here's a good one. We're going to watch. Now, this is the one guy we do trust. David is Egon.
We must remember that only physical gold under your own control is real wealth preservation. ETFs, paper gold, gold funds, etc., do not work in a period of crisis. If we get a crisis in the financial system, which I expect and have been forecasting for quite a long time, and that crash is still to come, we get that crisis, most of your assets within the financial system will either fall dramatically or disappear. Therefore, it is important that you actually have a physical asset in the form of gold and some silver, and that you hold it outside the banking system. Don't hold paper gold. Don't hold electronic gold. Don't own tokenized gold. Tokenized gold is good, again, as a short-term investment, but it's not the right instrument to hold for wealth preservation purposes, because all you have is, again, a digital entry, potentially backed by real gold, but you want the real gold yourself that you have possession of. So therefore, remember, hold real gold, hold real silver, and control it yourself in the safest vault that you can find. We must remember.
See, and that's the whole point of it. See, Egon hits the nail on the head. If you want to keep value, you buy gold and silver. Now, you can still play the silver miners, but what I remind Luke is it's okay to play them, but when do you know to get out of them? And the problem most people have is they think they'll never go down. Sort of like, oh, we're playing poker. Oh, I think I'm going to win. I won 3 hands in a row. I'm going to win every hand. No, you're not. Oh, I'm at craps. I'm going to hit the pass line every time. Oh, I'm at roulette. Oh, red's going to just keep coming up. It'll never stop. The Bitcoin idiots. Oh, it's just going to keep going. It'll go to 5 million. And you just shake your head going, you guys are fucking clueless. You don't know how anything works. It doesn't just do that. So what I tell Luke and anybody else in the gold or silver stocks is you've got to have a system when you get in and out. Now, I was a day trader in gold, and so I'd watch that 10 o'clock drop, and then I'd buy when it started going up. And then I'd hold it and let it go. And then when it started to level off, I sold, but I would buy 1,000 shares of Newmont. And if I got 70 cents, I made $700, and I was very happy that day. Say, I'm taking my profit, and then I'll do it again the next day. And that's the whole point. You have to have a trigger when to get out. Now, in sports betting, it's easy. The game's end. So you're betting football, and we hit San Diego in the points yesterday. Okay, that's a winner. And now the money comes back to us, and now it goes into our bankroll, and then we do it again. And each week, the money comes back to us, and then we do it. But in stocks, it doesn't come back to you. In stocks, you think it's going to keep going. In Bitcoin, you think it might drop a little, but it's going to go to 1 million. And you never get out. And that's the Ponzi scheme. You never get out. That's what Madoff was, right? Madoff sat there and said, well, I can give you your money, but you can't get back in. Oh, no, I like the 15% every month you give me or whatever. monthly, yearly, whatever. And therefore, I think there were monthly returns like 1 and 2% each month with a total of 15%, let's say, for the year. So I'm doing that. And, so I want to get the 15%. It'll always go until everybody pulls their money out. That's the Ponzi scheme. And when everybody pulls their money out of Bitcoin, as the economy goes into depression and BRICS has their gold-backed currency making the dollar worthless, as that happens, people will not realize that they're A, in a Ponzi scheme, and B, that Bitcoin can never go down. Well, it's priced in dollars, and it certainly can go down. People like to say, well, Bitcoin's worth a Bitcoin. What is that? It's not real. So as long as you have a plan, okay, I'm going to get into Bitcoin. I happen to have an extra 120,000 floating around. So I'm going to buy, or I guess you can buy $1,000 worth or $2,000 worth. When are you going to get out? Well, I won't. It'll just keep going up. And when the dollar collapses and now you've lost your money in Bitcoin, or you won't be able to get it out, or the bank won't give you the money. I mean, the banks aren't going to give out money when they start losing their ass because they've done all these shorts in the gold and silver that they have to pay for. They got to deliver, which they won't because they won't have the gold to deliver it. Here, U.S. flip-flops on Swiss tariffs. So he was tariffing gold, and then he said, yeah, you know what? Gosh darn it, I won't. So now you see this, and to your point, David, who is this guy, and can we trust him? I don't know him. I won't trust him. Fed's plan to revalue gold. I don't know. 15,000. Sounds good, but who is this guy? I do like this guy. Daniel Davis, I do listen to him. He seems, you can tell when the guys are telling the truth versus some of these guys who just talk and they're lying and they're just trying to sell something. So I was looking at this, but this builder I don't like. China's gold shops closed. I don't know if I can believe it with this builder because the builder has a lot of videos that I just I don't like it. I've been watching a lot of this Vegas stuff. Vegas is in trouble. The Strip is in trouble, and it's too expensive. We talked about fair trades, but I'll repeat it. I talked about it yesterday. What's a fair trade? Well, I really want some Canadian club. Oh, you got 12-year-old. Oh, I've been looking for that. How much do you want for it? And so he wants what I have. The question is a fair trade. At what price is he willing to buy it? And at what price do I want to sell it? I want to get the highest price I can. He wants to get the lowest price he can. But there's a point where we come together and we say, yeah, I can live with selling it for that price, and he can live with buying it for that price. That's called a fair trade. Both parties are happy in the trade. And that's what free trade is. You're buying something. I just went to the grocery store. I bought peaches. I bought 3 peaches. They were on sale, and it was a fair trade. Okay, I will give you $1.29 for per pound for a peach, or I will give you. I got some almonds. Okay, $6 for almonds. Okay, I'll do that. And so your aluminum foil, I think it was $3. Okay, I'll do that. Toilet paper at $7, I thought was a little pricey, but you have no option. You have to, it's either that or go out into the woods and use leaves. So going to the grocery store is all fair trade. It's all, they charge the price they're happy getting, and you pay the price because you're happy because you want it. at that price and not that. So when I go to the barbecue and I say, if you make these ribs $45 a slab, forget about it. Nobody's going to, it's because it's not a fair trade to them. Right now, the price is $30. They should raise the price, but they're scared to because I told them if you do, you're going to go broke. Nobody will pay it. And then you'll be stuck with this inventory of all these ribs that you can't sell. Just keep it at 30. And he has. But that's what you got to realize is what does the market think the trade is fair with? So when the Camry guy went from 25 to 35 on the Camry, it wasn't a fair trade. People said, I'm not giving you that much money for the Camry because it's been 25 or the $20 steaks. No, I'm not going to give you 20 for the steaks. I'm going to give you, I think 13 is fair. 20 is too expensive. It's not a fair trade for me. And that's really how life works. Everything's about a fair trade. That's how we go through life. We buy things we think is a fair trade. Once in a while we get burned if we buy a stock and it goes down, then what do you do? So right now you think, oh, the stocks are going up because gold and silver is going up. I don't argue with you, but I would rather have the physical, as Egon just said, than buying stocks. You don't want to be in ETFs because you don't have any physical. And God knows those are manipulated as shit. I got into an ETF once and gold went up $50. And I thought, oh, I'm going to make a fortune here. And I didn't make anything. They scam you right and left. They charge you management fees and all this bullshit. Do I agree? I'm sorry, David. What's the question? Do I agree with what? Maybe there's questions you're putting I'm not seeing. That used to happen to Bobby. If you put in like certain words, it doesn't show up and I don't see it. The last thing I see is, yeah, I agree. And then I see you, do you agree? So what I'm saying, I agree with. So I'm not sure what your question is, do you agree? But it's all a fair trade. And when you start adding tariffs and taxes to items, it then becomes not a fair trade. I don't want to pay that much for it. I'm not going to pay another $200 for a computer. And the companies know that. They know they can't sell it to you. If they're selling it for $300, they can't sell it for $500. They're not going to sell any. It's not I can use this. I prefer a new one, but I can use this. And that's what you have to realize. But this is the whole point of it. It must be we must feel like we're getting good value for our money, even though the money's not worth anything anymore. So if you go buy eggs for $3 for 12 eggs, you think, well, I need the eggs. I don't care. But for you, the $3, but if it was $10 for the dozen eggs, that's not a fair trade. That's more than I was wanting to pay for the eggs. I won't buy, like the dark chocolates. They're $4.79 for the Chivaldis now. I'm not paying for it. Now, when they put them on sale, buy one, get one 50% off, I'll pay, but I'm not paying. I looked today, $4.79. I said, fuck it. I don't trust the doctor. Well, that's why we listen to our doctor here. I don't even go to the doctor anymore. I trust Barbara O'Neill. See, this is the doctor I use right here. Dr. Stan Ekberg or Barbara O'Neill. They're very good at explaining, is cholesterol bad for you? And the answer is no. Cholesterol is made by the body. So when you have a problem, cholesterol shows up and they keep blaming it. Oh, it's because of the cholesterol. It's not. There's nothing wrong with cholesterol. It's fine. It's just stay thin and watch your sugars and your carbs and you're fine. But this is the guy I would never go to a real doctor and ask him those questions. They don't have a clue. I was talking to a guy, Dr. Pampa is good. They give you your statins, which are bad for you. Yeah, I don't take any of that stuff, but I listen to Barbara O'Neill also, who's further down the list. So even here, I got to watch this one. We can get 20/20 vision. Do this daily to avoid glasses. So I gotta try this. But is your regular doctor going to tell you? Is your eye doctor going to tell you? Oh no, they never will. So where's Barbara O'Neill? Here she is. So this is the other one I listened to. Is Barbara O'Neill. Rub this once and watch hair grow. Now I've used, per her, I use coconut oil and castor oil, and I'll tell you, my hair, it's coming in really really heavy. I kind of wash it down, but it looks a little with the light on it. But if you look at it like that, you can see the hair, and it's growing in really thick. So yeah, she knows what she's saying. So it's those two I watch. They get kickbacks on the meds. Well, that's why I don't go to a regular doctor. Now, we were watching last week where this guy kicked out the U.S. and Israel. This is from, what's he from? See this guy here, this general. Well, he's a captain, actually. Burkina Faso. And so this is in Africa, and the U.S. and France have been stealing all their gold and oil, and he finally said, fuck you, and kicked them all out. So now Africa's taking it. It really won't affect the gold price because the gold was there. It's just who was having it. So what did the U.S. do with their gold? They probably sold it to China to pay for their deficit, or Biden put it in his swimming pool. Well, that's the problem with the doctors now. They're not out to cure you. Cancer, you want to beat cancer? Don't eat. If you do what I did, I just did basically a 4-day fast, 92 hours. If you do that, you'll get rid of your cancer, because cancer, the key about cancer is it needs sugar, and it hates oxygen. So if you just drink a lot of water and stop eating sugar, cancer will die because it can't live without it. Very simple, right? Don't eat, it needs sugar to live. Stop eating cupcakes and Lucky Charms and M&Ms and Oreos, and you'll get rid of your cancer. And that's what causes cancer. Those foods cause cancer. So if I don't eat them, I won't even get cancer. So that's why I'm pretty healthy, because I'm not eating the foods that make me unhealthy. And I had a little bit of the ice cream, which made my feet hurt. But I've stopped that, and my feet are fine now. I walked the lake the last 3 days, 1.25 miles. I couldn't even do a half mile before because my feet would hurt or my back would hurt. All of a sudden, no sugar, feet are fine, back is fine. Not only that, I'm doing 45 minutes in the pool, and then walking this 1.25 miles or so at the lake, and I'm loving it. And like I said, I was able to get into my clothes. I said, if I get this Ford job, I then have to look at what do I have to wear? Now, I'm stoic, so it doesn't matter. If I get the Ford job, fine. If I don't get the Ford job, I'm really waiting for gold and silver to finally get their real price, and then I will have that to retire on, and I'll be fine. So let's see, is there anything else to talk about? I mean, this whole meeting with Trump and Putin's a joke. Well, this would be a good battle. The elephant against the crocodile. Looks like the elephant wins. Tigers beat crocodiles too, I saw. See, now I will watch this. Bye Bye Ukraine with Scott Ritter. I do like him. But it's not going anywhere. It's just going to be controlled by Russia, just like the dollar isn't going anywhere. It's just going to be turned into gold-backed currency if we have any gold. So people think we have gold. So if we had the gold, why aren't we paying our debt off with it? Why aren't we going to a gold-backed currency? So I think gold coming in is going to pay these options in comex. People will take delivery for them, China, Russia, and you have to pay them. Probably more China, India, Saudi Arabia is buying because they can buy the gold and silver cheap on the options, and then they have to deliver. They ask for delivery. I want the physical. See, they never asked for the physical. That was the Ponzi scheme with gold and silver. It's just London buying and the U.S. selling and vice versa, but they never sold physical gold. So as long as nobody asked for physical gold, COMEX Ponzi scheme worked. As soon as everybody said, China, India, Russia, hey, I want physical, the Ponzi scheme ended because they can't keep shorting and shorting it and putting it, put up or put down and call up, calls and puts. They can't do that anymore because that's only with no physical. But since there's physical, you can't just do it. So it's ending, but again, it's struggling. And again, you have rich people with a lot of money who don't want to see the dollar go to zero. So they're fighting it. And one of them's Trump. So that's really, we know we're right, but they're kind of fighting it. So we will see. But this is the problem. Well, look at the government. All these senators and congressmen are paid by the lobbyists to keep the defense contractors in business. So it's the same. So it's everywhere. There's all these kickbacks. This is the problem. But most people don't know that. They don't realize that. So that's what happens. It's with doctors. It's with government people. All right, let's see what our gold and silver is doing. So it's down to 33.42. What is this, a Monday? Everybody's selling it. Yeah, the 10 o'clock. See how it went up at 10. The U.S. is going to sell it. So tomorrow, if it goes down at 10, the U.S. will buy. So again, 33.42. This is just fictitious. This is not from physical people buying and or selling. If we all bought 100 tons of gold, which we couldn't afford, the gold price wouldn't move. So I'm sure there's people buying it now at 33.42, licking their chops because this is a 10,000 an ounce item that they can get for 33.42. Let's see what's going on in silver. Silver took their dive at 4 o'clock, and it's the same bullshit. Nobody's buying or selling an ounce of silver. Nobody's selling an ounce of silver. They're probably buying it. So ignore. See, they want you to get out of gold and buy stocks. You really make money in stocks. What they don't tell you is it's not worth anything. And the Dow is only down 200. This is a joke. This is ridiculous. So is there anything going on? Only an idiot would do this. I see this. The water looks safe, but it was only, what are those, piranhas, probably? Crash warning, 40%. 40% market crash. The 40% market concentration nobody's talking about. We're talking about it. I hate when they do that because I talk about it. I love these little pictures of Trump crying and everything. It's not going to be 40% market crash. It's going to be 90% market crash. Only Ric Flair could wear this robe. Only Ric Flair. I don't know. So it's just Trump's going to meet with Putin. We won't do anything. He's just doing it for show to say, hey, I tried for peace. I met with Putin. The war goes on. The Ukraine's just getting all these people slaughtered, and Zelensky doesn't give a shit. He's taking the money and running to London or wherever the hell he lives. Basically, Israel runs the U.S., as does the U.K. So we're like puppets to the UK and Israel. So that's why we're doing what we're doing. They're making money on the defense contractors' stocks, but again, the money's worthless. So the bottom line is nobody realizes the money has no value except for us and Egon and about a handful of people who know Austrian economics. And the funny part is they only teach Keynesians. Not funny, it's sad. So most people are clueless to what's happening, and that's the problem. It's like cancer. You're clueless. You don't realize, oh, if I don't eat sugar, I won't get cancer. Or if I do have cancer, if I stop eating sugar and carbs, it'll go away. Nobody's told that. There's a lot of things nobody's told. That's the problem. That's what I try to do is inform. So I think that's about it. Baseball again today. Philadelphia, Milwaukee, the White Sox over 9, Colorado over 8.5, Texas and Boston. Those are today's picks. Football we'll start looking at tomorrow. Really, I don't know how I went 8-1 in football. Preseason football, it's just the way I am. Wait till I get in the regular season. I'm very good at my feels. I feel the games, my intuition, my instincts, and watching it since 1967 or whatever. I know the type of teams that win and type of teams that lose and what the quarterback needs to be able to throw the ball, not run the ball. Never seen a running quarterback win in the playoffs. Never happened. Only Oklahoma running the wishbone was the only one. Outside of that, I've never seen anybody run it. And I think that's about it. So I'm going to have a little bit of lunch. I'll probably make my omelet, and then I'll have I will go to the pool and go walking. So I'm doing more exercise, and I don't necessarily want to lose 10 or 20 pounds as much as I want to just, get the fat off of me and be able to get into my suit. So whatever weight that is the weight I'm going to. And I'm not going to stop until I get into my suit that I bought in 2005 for funerals and weddings and interviews like this. So we will see. I remember I think it was my father-in-law died, and so we went to get a nice black suit. Back then I was thinner, and now I can't. It's like I can't squeeze it on. So I'm determined to really want to do this till Thanksgiving. It's August now, so you just go month by month. But if you ever want to diet, just say I'm not going to eat today, and you're fine. Have your water and have your tea and coffee, no sugar, no sweet and low in it, and just eat that and you'll be fine. I think that's it. Any other questions, comments, David, or anybody else? Please feel free to ask. That's why I do a live show. Instead of having a guest like Mark McGuire does, I always tease him going, where'd you get this guy from? Although his last guest was pretty good. It was London Dan or something. The companies make billions of their profits, good or bad. Well, it's up. This is why the free trade is it's up to us to say we don't like the product and not buy it. So they don't know what products they're going to buy or sell. They have an idea because whiskey sells and shirts sell. So if I make a shirt, I'll probably be able to sell it. The key is the price point. And then we, as the consumers, set the prices. And we say, if we like something, we buy it. If we don't like it, we say, fuck you. And then they realize it's not good. And that's how the market's supposed to work. So it's really, we're the market. We're saying what we want. And then if you make what we want, we'll buy it if it's if it's a fair price, fair trade. If you make something we don't want, we're not going to buy it. Like the electric car. Who wants it? I see a few more Teslas around here, and I don't know why people are that stupid. Well, good luck charging your car every day for 5 hours and paying a lot in electricity. We don't even have the electricity grid to do Teslas. There's not enough electricity to do it, especially if the idiots were going with windmills and solar panels. Then we'd really be in trouble. What do we do on a day that's not windy and the sun's not out? Oh, we're all fucked. So you're never going to get rid of electricity. Why should you? It's the best thing for you. But that's what's happening. So that's really the key to it. So I will leave you with that. www.teaserking.com. Have a great day, everybody. I will see you tomorrow. And we'll go through the preseason and the baseball. We always do that. So it's a multiple chapter show. It's baseball, it's football, gold and silver, and then economics, Austrian economics, and then if there's anything to do with the war. So I try to hit all bases as I should. And I don't mind going 2 hours. So with that, I am leaving. So have a wonderful day, www.teaserking.com, and I will talk to everybody soon. All right. You have a nice day. Take care.